it says starting. I don't see it where it's not. We're not on the air yet. It's saying startings. I might have to go downstairs, and I don't want to go downstairs. Try, damn, it won't do it. Oh, all right. Hello, this is Kev. This is YouTube channel Black Men Being Brutally Honest. With me are the habitual line steppers. Right now, yes, and we are the habitual line steppers. So remember 2008 to present day. So basically, what we're talking about is random things that we felt during the presidencies of Barack Obama and Donald Trump. And with the 2020 presidential campaign coming up, I feel as if we can have a little discussion on our feelings on that too. So okay, introduce yourselves, fellas. Either one of you. All right, Roger, Don.
Okay,
You go first.
this is Roger Stevens. I am here as a habitual line stepper here to represent. Uh, and my show is the Roger Report. So when you get a chance, get on over to my show. Like, subscribe, good material, and we dare to keep it 1,000% real. You know, a lot of people always put that extra percentage, even though it's still just 100%. Well, we keeping it 10 million% real. Okay, so slide on over to the Roger
Yeah,
Report when you get a chance. Like and subscribe.
yeah, absolutely. We stick to the same themes throughout our pages. Like I'm brutally honest. He's 1,000% real. So yeah. So also okay, Donnie. Fire
What's
away,
up,
sir.
people? How y'all doing? I'm a habitual line stepper. I habitually step that line. I step, I tiptoe, I creep, I move past that bitch. That's just what I do. Um, my shows, you ain't shit for watching. Been on a little bit of a hiatus because I've been traveling. Put out a couple videos to show y'all how to do it. But typically on my show, we have conversations that mm, need to be had. Shit, it just is what it is. And sometime during the process of that conversation, you gonna say once, twice, maybe 1,000 times, you ain't shit. Well, I just want you to know you ain't shit for watching. As a habitual line stepper, I run with these three uh individuals, uh and we doing things out here.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So thanks for coming, you two guys. And I wanted to show you something. I want to show y'all something, and I want you to give your thoughts.
Oh,
Now, did both of you vote in the 2008 election?
could not hear you. Ooh, ooh.
Yeah. Look at that
About the
change you
election.
can believe in.
Change we can believe in. All right.
Oh, you couldn't hear me. Did you guys vote in the 2008 election?
You know what? That was actually my first election.
You
Uh,
still can't hear me?
yeah, you cutting out in and
Can
out,
you hear me?
kind of bad. You kind of bad, a little bit of static, but it is what it is. But that was my first election. That was the first time I came in and felt the power of my vote. I went to the polls. I got me a little sticker. I was so proud of my sticker. I said I helped vote the first black man in
Well, hey, that's a good one. That's a good one. Now.
at the time.
That's a good for the grandkids to be able to say that. It's good for the grandkids one day.
Yeah, about all it was good for.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My my granddaddy before he passed got to see the first black president, and he loved Obama.
Mm. Well, it wasn't my first time voting, but I did vote for him. I did vote for him for his first go round. I didn't vote for him the second go round, but he did get my vote. for the first go
Hmm.
round.
Yeah,
I guess
I
I
vote.
wanted that change that I could believe in. I wanted that change. Hell of a
Yeah,
slogan.
yeah. I wanted. I wanted. I wanted that change too. That's why I voted for him. I and I'm gonna tell y'all the when didn't much happen during his first term. I thought that he was really gonna wait to his second term to to really like start doing stuff. So they won't try to. I guess they won't try to do something to him while he was in office. I thought maybe his second term he was gonna cut the fool and just started doing for black this, black that, and
I don't give a.
for real, I wanted that change. I mean, for real, it's like okay. I'm in Montgomery, Alabama. Okay, all right. So during the 2008 election, there was a lot of white people wearing T-shirts saying "No Obama, No Obama," putting the N at the beginning of Obama. And and I can admit, as a black person, I really got caught up in like the whole first black president thing. It's just like, okay, it's pissing white people off, racist whites,
Mhm.
conservatives, and I think this is a really good thing, just to piss these people off. What happens is we have a tendency to get caught up in that instead of, okay, does this guy really have my best interest in mind? Now, okay, basically, it wasn't. Let me look up this article real quick. Just want to discuss Pastor Jeremiah Wright for a second. Like June 16th, 2008, Barack Obama gave this sharp speech. Really, and a lot of people some people said telling the truth about absent black fathers. Some people interpreted it like completely demonizing black dads. There's and to me, it's like there's stats and there's percentages, and then there's what Barack Obama has to say about it. And that rubbed a lot of black men the wrong way. But I guess it didn't matter that much because he still got in office.
Mm.
From so guys, okay. This says change we can believe in, and all of the racist vitriol that you saw out there when he was campaigning, when he got elected twice. So for all of that and all of the for all of that, having a black president, or they quote fingers because people say that pretty loosely.
Mhm.
Do you think it was worth it?
Um,
No.
I think it was good for image wise. It was good. It was good that we finally had a first black president. Image wise, it was good that we have something other than the white man.
Like,
So at least,
I was filled with pride. I was filled with pride. I was like, wow, I'm glad I was able to see something like this in my lifetime. And like I said, well, my grandparents who were, going, toward the end of their lives, I was glad for them to be able to see that too. But as far as any true change, did y'all feel like y'all got what y'all expected? Because see, my answer is no. I don't feel like I got at all what I expected from Barack Obama. But if I was more of a person that kept it real, you know, it probably could have been exactly what I expected from a president in the United States.
Well, damn. I mean, yeah.
And it's like this. So Roger, let me ask you a question. And let me see if you have the answer to this.
okay.
What exactly did Obama do specifically for blacks? Specifically.
You know what? He actually the one of his greatest accomplishments. I can't believe I'm gonna have to say this, but one of the best things he did for black people is image wise. Honestly, image.
Image.
He did
Image.
hold the office with You know, the man had some dignity about him. His wife and his kids were in order during the presidency. You didn't see them cutting up and acting a fool.
Even though they
They,
tried to reach and say that they did, they even bothering them girls today, like with various headlines, like this recent one. She was out drinking. I'm like, I had like my first alcoholic beverage when I was 19. I got real drunk when I was 20. So does that make me a bad person? Young people do shit. So yeah. It's like for all of the criticism that him and his family have received, you know, it just I can understand how that can be a very retarded bad thing.
mm-hmm,
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
so basically I'm just like, leave the kids alone. Like, what the hell Malaya and Sasha got to do with anything except for the fact that they're public figures?
Oh, they ain't gonna
So,
be able to do no right for the rest of their lives.
ooh,
Just
ooh,
about.
ooh, I got one. I got one. I gotta. Let me see. Let me Google. I gotta pull up a picture because I feel like image is very important.
Well, I guess especially while we speaking on them.
Yeah, I want to speak on something real quick. Man, I just want an image of him and his wife.
Barry and his wife.
Yeah, Barack and Michelle Obama. Now, Barack and Michelle Obama. He met her in law school. She was his mentor, and they fell in love and they got married. That's the short of it. Had two kids. There was a lot of rumors about Michelle Obama's I would say sexuality. People went on online diatribes against Michelle Obama, and and then the whole thing about how she had her children. They're trying to say something. They're trying to say stuff like this. Now, for all of the things that has been said about Michelle Obama, do you think Barack Obama handled it properly? And here's how he handled it. He mostly ignored it. Now, granted, think about it though. Now think about it. Everybody's gonna be like, well, hey, you know what? He was such a big person about it. He's a professional, and I get that. I get that. Barack Obama to me is one of the most crisp people that I've ever seen. But I'd be damned you gonna sit up there and go in on my wife like that. Period. I'd be damned if any of that. Now I can say this: Barack Obama was one of the most disrespected presidents in history.
One of the most. Okay.
Oh, wait. Okay, all right. Let's not even exaggerate. Yeah, he is the most disrespected president,
Look,
and a lot of that shit, was based on ethnicity. A lot of it was based on his ethnicity, which to me, I felt like, as far as what he was doing or what he wasn't doing specifically for blacks, I felt like he should have been more on the ball than that. Because it is you want to treat everybody like they're equal. You want to treat everybody. You want to say you're America's president, but guess what? But guess what? So to me, it's like whatever he did or didn't do for black people, he should have just went ahead and did it. It's like, you're not gonna one way or another, you're not gonna please these people. Fuck all that. Like, now I'm just going. Now I'm going into talking about unfairness and all that other stuff. We have to absolutely be fair, and that's something that's been indoctrinated into us as black people, that we are so fair with everybody else, even though they're not all that fair with us.
mm-hmm.
And Barack Obama was fair. And is that fairness? What was that fairness a weakness?
He was the dignified Negro. He just took it on the chin. They talked about that woman so damn bad. Not a word was ever out of his mouth. Mind you, he's the president. He
Not even a hey, you talk about my wife, I kick your ass. Like, not even that. I would have done that, but granted, I'm not the president of the United States. Yeah, I would have been like, hey, I will kick your fucking ass if you talk about my wife, period. It's just all there is to it. I mean, a man defends his wife, period. And a lot of people act like, and I mean, like, and a lot of people did, they're like, well, he didn't defend his wife enough. for everything he did not defend as far as like racist vitriol.
Well,
So,
they gonna make him look bad as best they can, but I will give him this much credit. I will give him this much credit. He understood his place in history, and if anything, he displayed that he could be bigger than the people were talking about his life. I give him that.
be the
He was
bigger person.
not even just saying he's being the bigger person. I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the man had such a bravado. He knew he was so above the people talking about him, they were not worthy of a response because
No,
he's
but
just
you know
that
what
much.
though? But you know what though? Them State of the Union addresses, he did tear down hecklers like it wasn't nothing. Like he destroyed hecklers. See, that's a great thing that I did like about Obama. Obama and his wife Michelle were tremendous orators. They knew how to carry a room, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right. As far as the image, Barack Obama is A1. His wife is A1 as far as image. But to christen him as the first black president might not be fair. It might not be. And okay, although he is a man of color, he is a man of color. What, in fact, what did he like? And like I said, what did he do for quote fingers his people? Maybe he didn't deep down, and you hear a lot of people talk about this. Maybe deep down he didn't feel like that we, as far as American Westerners, were really his people.
He made Newport's the number one brand for nigga presidents.
Now, when he used that N word in that interview, I didn't appreciate that lady exactly coming on the news calling him rapper in chief. You remember that? He was saying that. Basically, he was saying that racism goes beyond just not saying the word nigger in public, but he said nigger. He didn't say N word, and a sister came on CNN and called him rapper in chief. Started saying all kinds of little racist, condescending things, basically trying to put him in a light of a thug, just because he said nigger. So
I won't say it's because he said that. If anything, she did that because she's serving her master. That's all there is to it.
yeah, so it's like, so it's hard pressed to give passes to a man of color, even if he is president. So basically, what I'm saying is like, although there are black people that feel like that this man did not do enough for them, look at all he still had to face a ton of tremendous scrutiny just for being president.
He did. All presidents have to. I mean, I don't think he gets special props for that. He's in the driver's seat. Everybody wanted to wreck, lead, and give you some kind of critique from the back seat. Just kind of how it is.
Mm-hmm.
My main thing is, what did you do? Sorry, what did you do policy wise to affect black people specifically? And that's all I ever really cared about with him.
Specifically, the change we can all believe in. Now, Roger, when you first heard that slogan, "Change that we can all believe in," what change were you expecting? I might have asked this question already, but it's like let's talk about specifics. What change were you expecting?
Well, to keep it real with you, me being the person I was and how this wasn't my first election, I didn't know what he was gonna change. Honestly, I didn't know what he was gonna change. I didn't have a high expectation that he would be able to even push any kind of real change. I knew from the get go, as soon as he got in office, he was gonna get a lot of pushback. That was my expectation, period. Because the whole thing is the country has to get over the fact that this nigga is the president. Because that's how a lot of the people in this country viewed it. This nigga is the president. What the hell is going on? I know it was bad, but we really elected this nigga. So I already know that he was gonna get pushed back there. Now, as far as the policies that he could push, I honestly didn't know what he really could do, and I was just hoping he really had some good ideas to improve some areas. But the only thing I could really say I really expected from him, because he was what I'm saying, when I was researching him, they said he was a professor of the Constitution. So I actually wanted him to push the country further toward how the Constitution is set up for us to be. I wanted us to go further in that direction. Did we really go much further in that direction? I really can't say that we did.
Okay. So Donnie, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was putting just trash away.
All right. Okay. But listen up. So we're saying is what a lot of people like to say is Barack Obama didn't do a whole lot for black people. Mm-hmm. So what groups did he do stuff for?
Let's see.
Yeah, and I know you heard this conversation.
He specifically did shit for the LGBT community, specifically for the Jewish community, specifically for I want to say white women. Did I mention Latino? Minorities in general. I mean, he did a lot of things, but a lot of things that he did were kind of beneficial to black people in a way that they were beneficial to everybody. Black people just happened to be in the group. Barry went and gave reparations to the Jews. Why would you skip past your own people? Barry went and gave reparations.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no. Barry went and made specific laws for the LGBTQ community, however many acronyms is in it. Did all that. More black people died under his watch by police shootings than they did during the civil rights era.
Oh, and another fact, while we were talking about border security and deporting illegal immigrants, guess who right now has like the biggest record of deporting illegal immigrants?
Oh yeah, it's Barry.
It's Barry, because it's like I remember like guys working under me that were illegal, that were deported back because of this. But
I'm gonna say this from a political aspect. I have no problem with the fact of illegals being removed. I ain't got no issue with that. Life ain't fair. I was born here; they weren't. Simple as that. That's just the way it works.
Okay. All right. Hey, Judge, you there? You there, Judge Dre? By the way, how are you doing?
I don't think he's there.
I guess. No, he's on. I guess he has his microphone muted, so I guess he'll join us.
I'm here.
Yeah, what's up, man? So yeah, what's going on, man? Thanks for stopping by. So what are you how long have you been listening to this conversation go?
Probably only about 3 minutes.
Okay, basically what we're doing is we're discussing the political landscape. We're discussing the political landscape from 2008 to now. So what we're doing is we're on a Barack Obama part, basically, talking about what his presidency meant to us. And I was just asking these guys, certain questions. And I ask you this. Since you just got here. Where were you at in 2008?
I was still here in Cleveland.
Oh, you were still here in Cleveland? Okay. How pumped you were about the possibility of a person of color being president at the time?
Well, you want to hear something funny? When that happened, I had actually took my youngest son with me to vote that day. And I took him with me to vote because I used to actually volunteer at his school at the time. And I sit there and laugh because I was the only male volunteer, let alone only black male. And at that time, he was doing very well in school when I was volunteering. Like, he went from the bottom of his 3 in his class to like the top 3 in his class. Even though I wasn't volunteering in his classroom, I think that something happened with me going to school with him, and he always seeing me at the school. It kind of helped. But I mean, I was excited. I mean, literally, I'm not even gonna lie. I was supposed to work the day afterwards, because we went the day after election day, and I called off work because I said, no, I'm going to volunteer at the school. I said, you know why? Because I want to see the face of these white people when you hear these little black kids can say, I can grow up and be president.
Yeah, and that's that kind of is exactly what it was for me too.
I love the fact that shows you, well, plain and simple. There you go, black children. Yes, it may be harder for you, but under no circumstances that shows that they haven't done anything that we can do.
Yeah, pretty much. And president was one of those things where they had a perfect record.
Right. Yeah. Well, not even the fact of that. I said we wouldn't see probably another one right away. No. But I say within 20 years, we'll see so many people of color in the Senate, House of Representatives, because at least now they know, sometimes it just, some people, they learn better by seeing someone do it before they try.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a question. The people of color they're propping up right now, do you think they can fill those shoes?
Hell no.
Not at all. Now let's go I don't know all of them. I know there's Kamala Harris. I know there's Cory Booker.
I ain't gonna lie. From what I've heard about her, that I wouldn't vote for her. But unfortunately, now, they're gonna try to put a woman in there no matter what, because it's just the fact is, if you see the world is catering to this women type shit, this Me Too movement is really getting motherfuckers,
And what they're doing is they're trying to prop up a woman to become president. And this is the mistake I felt like they made in the 2016 campaign. They figured since we had a first black president, now we want a first woman president. And
I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't vote for Hillary myself.
Yeah, I voted for Hillary as a struggle vote. I should have.
I didn't vote. I ain't gonna lie, I voted for Trump. I told him like this is this. I said it's a win-win for black men. I voted on in the general interest of black men. I didn't give a shit about women, unfortunately, when I came to that vote, even though I do have a daughter, but I figured they have a lot more protection plans in place for them, let alone that. I voted for Trump because I said, this is what it's going to be. I said, Hillary got in office. This Me Too movement was picking up so much steam and it was just kicking too much ass. And they're going to cater to more things that helps them. I mean, literally, can you imagine the laws they would enact if Hillary got in there, let alone the bitch already the one back in the day where she was on that 3 strike shit. So, I mean, think about it. I mean, they'll be putting niggas in jail for debt, especially the child support people.
Yeah. And there's a lot of things that these people tried to ignore just to push Hillary.
Right. I wasn't putting, plain and simple. You and your husband already fucked me once. If you get fucked twice by the same motherfucker, you deserved it.
No, but personally, just to throw that out there, I was more of a Bernie Sanders guy than anything.
Yeah. I wanted Bernie Sanders, but after I knew that it was, that I voted for Trump because I figured it was.
And there's a lot of people were pushed away from Hillary because of the way that they did Bernie Sanders. But
not even the fact of that, but the crap with Hillary is this. If you notice, Hillary didn't go get those people who got shot by the cops and nothing like that. She got the mothers of them towards like the last 2 months. And I'm like, why the fuck niggas gonna be used as window dressing? Because that's all she did. She used them as window dressing. And I told, and black people, see, this is the thing. Black men are smart enough to realize, wait a minute, your ass wasn't talking nothing about us before. Now the last 2 months, you coming out now and you on stage with people who lost their kid. Bullshit, plain and simple.
Well, I'm gonna say something, and it was just this simple for me. When Hillary was running, I don't vote for my enemies. Period.
Thank you.
Establish herself as my enemy as a black man. I'm not voting for my enemy. Period. I would say it as an example. If a person put me in a position, they talking about slavery coming back into play.
Right.
Which person do you want to be your slave master? I ain't voting for no slave master. I'm running. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm doing something different. I'm fighting.
Well,
I'm doing something. I ain't voting for no slave master.
Well, I told everybody. Well, people got on me because I voted for Trump, and I said, now this is what you do. I said, I will give credit to the white man that don't like me. At least he can come out and say, you know what, I can't stand you as a nigga. I give more credit to that than the person who stabs me in the back any day. I figure it takes a balls to come out and say that I don't like your ass just because you're black. I find at least I know where you stand because at least you speak your fucking mind. You ain't gonna stab me in the fucking back and tell me everything's peachy. That's what I mean, plain and simple. I give credit, and I'm not even gonna lie. I said it's a win-win situation for black men voting for Trump. I said, why?
Okay.
Hopefully he'll sit up here. He won't want his name to look bad, so he'll hire all these good people to be around him, and he'll take his ideas. I said, or he'll get in office and be as fucked up as he think he is, and they'll be like, God damn, where's that nigga at? You know, where's God damn? Did we have a nigga in here? Can we get that nigga back in here? So I mean, it's a win-win. Cause think about it, he ain't done shit that didn't piss off, that been extra set at black people yet. But if you notice, everyone trying to say that he's done shit against black people. He done pissed off more white people than black people.
Well, you know what? I will say this, you know, and I wasn't really thinking about Trump in that type of context. It was just with all the stuff Hillary had done and how she's made her political stances to be anti-black male, especially. And you know, it's one thing that she could hide behind what her husband was doing, but with the,
Right.
with the stuff that Bill put in place and you his wife, y'all ain't that far apart. And then
Thank you.
when she was in the Senate herself, if I look at what the stuff she was pushing, and I was telling women all day long, I'm like, look, I know you're a woman. You know what I'm saying? And I know y'all want to see a woman in office. But whatever this first woman is to get in office, she gonna be in the history books. Why would you want your first woman to be Hillary? It don't even make sense, you know. And I think I actually steered a few people away from Hillary because of that. Because that was my thing. Why would you want your first female president, the one that's gonna be in the history books, the one if they're reading about this 200 years from now, they're gonna be reading about her as the first female president. Why would you do that to yourself? I mean, if you just want a woman, why her? You know?
Well, I'll say on that, unfortunately, one of the things that I've noticed when it comes to women, because I got multiple kids by multiple baby mamas, so I've had plenty of relationships, long-term relationships to see. Women will sacrifice long-term gains for short-term gains. And they don't realize that sometimes you might say, oh, we got a woman in office. Who gives a shit if she ain't shit? You know? I mean, the women are it's like, well, you go ahead and wait till tomorrow and we'll give you $10 million. Or you can have $1 million today. They'll be like, fuck it, I'll take the $1 million today. But if you wait till tomorrow, you can have 10. No, I'll still take the one.
Yeah, I gotta pay my
Unfortunately, a lot of women, they don't think logically on stuff like that.
Yeah, and it is a shame because at the end of the day, whoever that first woman is, it's gonna be a big deal, and it's gonna be a big deal throughout history's sake. And I'm just not for electing somebody that is definitely against black men, especially. And then Hillary's like a feminist in general, so she's kind of anti-male as it is, but she's definitely anti-black men.
Well, not even the fact of that. Can you imagine how many black men would have been put in jail? Shit, think about it. It's already proof that people don't follow the numbers. All-time crime is actually at an all-time low. People are committing less crimes, but they're still putting the same amount of people in jail because they figure we got to find some reason to put people in jail. That's why, if you notice, in most states, every fucking thing's a felony now. Where you'd be like, wait a minute, driving without a license is a felony now? Well, that used to be a misdemeanor. You know, or wait a minute, child support's a felony? You know, I've had people when I got arrested. Oh my God, this dude's got 3 felonies. I'm like, dude, it's for child support. He's like, ain't felony. Child support ain't no felony. He types it in the computer. Oh my gosh, child support a felony now? Like, what the fuck? How do they expect someone to get a job?
They don't. Yeah.
I mean, everything's a felony. So think about it. That shows that they had to increase what the crimes were because people weren't committing crime. In a general sense, people do not want to break the law. No, nobody wants to. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I want to go to jail. But some people are put and a reason to say, hey, well, and that's exactly what it is with this Me Too movement coming on. They're just kissing these white women's asses, period. And if you ever notice, every time some shit go on, the black women are the one out there doing the screaming, fussing, and fighting, and the white people are the ones making all the benefit. And this is the problem: is the black women don't realize they're just being used and played for their energy and anger.
Mm-hmm. Just like the feminists used them to march them down to vote for Hillary while they went and voted for Trump.
Not even the fact of that, but I ain't gonna lie, most white women, they do listen to their husband, even if they do not want to do what their husband wants. They do that because they stand by their man more than us black women do.
Yeah,
like I started working in.
It's called realizing. It's called realizing what the greater good is for your set.
Right. Definitely. Well,
all right.
I just want to say real quick, I don't even think that it's about black women not understanding. Black women have been trained to be anti-black men, so they went and did what was anti-black men. I don't think there's anything to do with them not understanding. They are trying to achieve their goals. Right. And their goal from a political aspect is to be anti-black men. Same, they are anti-black men in the household.
Well, they don't realize, though, their actions are just killing them in the long run. Because basically what happens is this. The best thing, if I was white people, the best thing I would love is, I would say, the Me Too movement. I mean, like the men going their own way, MGTOW and stuff like that. And how black men just say, well, fine, we ain't going to fight you. We're just not going to date you. They realize that we know that a lot of these women are trash and that we're not going to put up with no shit from a woman. We're just going to leave her. So we realize that, wait a minute, they realize, hey, these black women, they treat their men like shit. So most of the time, their men ain't going to have their back. I mean, think about it. That dude at McDonald's probably would have never even had the audacity to swing on a black woman, say, 15 years ago. Especially all them black people.
But they still talking about them boys were cowards.
No,
they still talking about. I was watching a live stream the other day. They were still talking about them boys at McDonald's were cowards and they were bitches for not doing anything.
I'm gonna just tell you, they were smart. They realized, wait a minute, I can go to plain and simple. Black men know you can go to jail for being involved in a fight and you just breaking the shit up. It don't take nothing to throw us in jail. Nothing. And why the hell I'm gonna go think about it? They work with the bitch every day. You could tell by the way she was hitting her hand on her hands, like before the dude grabbed her, that she got a fucking attitude. And maybe what happened is the white man probably thought, who is this bitch talking to me like that? And probably forgot where the fuck he was for a minute. And then when he grabbed her ass, he realized, oh shit, I done fucked up. But he was already committed. I mean, thank God he didn't get the shit stomped out on him. And you know what
though? Roger does make that point. Once he saw those boys, he de-escalated quickly.
Right. But the fact that you see the boys weren't like, oh, we're gonna kick his ass or nothing like that, because they was like 9 times out of 10, this bitch always got a fucking attitude, and we wish, because you see, they weren't in no rush to break that shit up.
They did exactly what was necessary. They just didn't do anything off the strength of nothing else. They were at their job. They weren't gonna let her get beat up, but they wasn't gonna jump in there and lose their job over a chick. It ain't gonna do nothing.
Especially over a motherfucker who probably get on your damn nerves anyway.
At the end of the day, in my opinion, them boys were heroes. Period.
Now
because as soon as she had a real problem, they jumped in.
Let me interject with
Johnny.
Yeah.
Right.
So to your point, now you said, it's gonna be some men going their own way with the MGTOW, everything else, not having to deal with these women because these women are out of pocket and everything else. So let me read you a quote. Something I read earlier resonated when you said that. When black men applaud white women for their femininity and compare them to black women, they're really and attacking themselves for being the sheer opposite of white men. This is Brianna Novo, a feminist.
Say that again.
You were breaking up, and I think I know what quote you were talking about too. They're having a big old discussion in the group about it right now.
Right. So when black men applaud white women for their femininity and compare them to black women, they are really just applauding white men for providing the better and safer environments that allow white women to be that way, and attacking themselves for being the sheer opposite of white men. This is by Brianna Novu.
That's kind of stupid.
Yeah, it is kind of stupid. It's just more. We know that black man hate is trendy, so we're gonna say any fucking stupid little thing that we can.
So here's how I took that. I took that as them saying, I have many an excuse to not be what I should be. None of it is my own fault.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's basically what it is. Anytime any shortcomings that I have, technically that's your fault. But that's the main goal with this, whole thing. They don't take no accountability for shit. But they don't realize something. Unfortunately, once men stop valuing pussy, they realize that they have no power at all. Because this is the thing. A man does not care how much money a woman makes. We don't care none of that shit. All we want is food, sex, and silence. And they don't realize that they could get the shit. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I sit here and talk, like you heard me say I'm in a relationship now. I said that before this, if you'd just like we watch my previous videos, I said that I was probably gonna be done with the bullshit. I'm not putting up with this. This relationship just failed. But I realized this. She supports me on everything that I do. On top of that, if I make a decision that she does not like, even if I can give her good enough reasons why, she still will do it my way, even though she doesn't like the decision. And then, so women don't realize sometimes, hey, well, go ahead and do it my way, even though you don't like the decision. That shows that you back me. And then I may come and find a solution that, well, this is the main thing you were trying to do it your way because you were trying to accomplish this goal. Okay, I'll adjust my thing so we can accomplish that goal on the way to the bigger goal. And see, sometimes, they don't realize that because, unfortunately, women aren't used to being told no. They're like spoiled little kids. You tell them no, that could be the worst fucking thing in the world.
Yeah, you're Satan himself. Like I was telling Roger the other day, it was like there was this girl back years and years ago that I always said yes to. The second I said no one time, I was the devil. It was all this fuck you, go to hell, kill yourself, all that bullshit, man. And I was like, where the fuck did all of this come from?
That's one little no, not even big no.
It wasn't even a big no. It wasn't even a big no. It wasn't even something like I promised and then wouldn't do. It was just
I sit there and laugh all the time. I tell them, I said, have you ever noticed this? Like my daughter's mother, she has 5 sisters, just 5 of them total. All of them are, above average, middle income. Not one of the women are in a solid relationship. Now, she was raised by her mother and father, but one of the things I've noticed the difference, like from me being over there all that time, because I went to prom with this woman. So to show you how we didn't have a baby until we were like 7. You know what I mean? So to show you, I'd known her for a long enough time. But the problem is this. I noticed with her dad, he'd come home from work real silent. Didn't say too much. When it was big family gatherings, yeah, he might chip in a little conversation there. But unfortunately, she ran his ass. And then that's the reason why I broke up with her. It's actually because I didn't break up with her because of anything she did. I broke up with her because of her mother. I told her, I said, look, your mother gonna keep disrespecting me. I said, I don't even take this shit from my family. My family get cussed out at the drop of a hat. I'll cuss my mom, aunt, sister, cousin, uncle, girlfriend, whatever you say out in my family, the drop of the hat. I've been giving your family a lot of respect. I'm not gonna keep doing this shit. You need to put her ass in check and tell her we're already living together. We had just set a date to be married. Come to find out, to show you how it was so funny, her cousin that she hates picked this called that week and picked the exact same day that we said we were gonna get married. So to go to show you how shit just happened funny. Week later, her mother makes a comment, tries to undermine my authority to me in front of my daughter, and tells my daughter that I don't love her, and that because I don't love her because I told her ass no. See, that's your fucking problem. I'm here to raise a child. I'm not here to be a child's friend. I'm sorry to say it's a big difference. I'm raising a child.
Dream. She told you in front of your daughter. Told the daughter you don't love her.
Yep, and he don't know how to love nobody because his parents never loved him.
Whoa, wait a minute. I said, wait a minute. Now we got the problem here. Bitch, who the fuck you talking to like that? I said, see, this is the problem here. You wonder why before I came back in my daughter's life and y'all let me spend time with her constantly, every day, y'all was having problems with her. Now the problems went down to every so often, once in a blue moon. That's because she realized dad don't play, dad get in that ass. I'm not here to be your fucking friend. I'm your father. It's a big difference. And this is the fact. I don't give a shit if my kids do not like me. Unfortunately, if you realize any successful, super strong parent, most of them people like them billionaires, do you ever hear their kids talking about how good my dad is? No, you don't, because them motherfuckers are pushing them hard. And that's the reason why I'm not trying to be your friend. I'm trying to be your father. You can hate me from the back of your Maserati when you get older. Then when you realize, oh shit, dad was just pushing me to be the best I can be.
Okay, now, Dre, we were talking about this before you came on. We were talking about Pastor Jeremiah Wright, and we were also talking about this speech that Barack Obama made on Black fathers. Did you remember that?
I didn't see it, so you can just give me the gist of it. Go ahead.
Just basically saying that, June 16, 2008, he was at Pastor Jeremiah Wright Church and, basically threw Black fathers under the bus, saying that, Black fathers aren't there for their children. There's too many Black fathers that, basically ain't shit. And we need to step it up as Black men. A lot of Black men considered that speech as throwing Black men under the bus and Black fatherhood under the bus. Now, for all of that you've said about, women, attitudes and everything, do you think that the environment that was provided by Barack Obama made them worse?
The statement he said was kind of wrong, but this is the problem is too. Maybe his dumb ass is brainwashed too, because I'm not even going to lie. Up until about, say, 6-7 years ago, I thought anything that a woman said, I was one of them. I always thought that they ran the roost. Then I realized, wait a minute.
So basically, what you were considered as what some people would say was a simp.
Definitely. I'd probably say I was, because unfortunately, I was raised by women. The only reason why that I have the skills that I have is this. My grandmother wasn't like how my mother and aunt were, but my grandmother was more of the, she didn't never said I don't need a man for shit. She always liked men. She flirted with men up until she was dead. So she was never that. She always acted like a woman. But she was just one of those ones where, hey, if you want something, sweetie, you just got to go out and get it. Just don't sit up here and expect nobody to pay for it for you or get it. If you want something, you can work for it and get what you want. That was her thing. That was how she said. But what I've noticed is that a lot of the women just think that, hey, the only thing that they got to provide is pussy. And no offense, if that's the only thing I'm getting out of you, I can pay a prostitute and you'd be done with it. And at least their job is they're professional at what they do. So.
At least the bare bones about it. That's how it is. That's what you're saying.
Unfortunately, it's a lot cheaper too. A lot of women don't understand that. It's a lot cheaper to pay for sex than it is to be in a relationship. Because once you're in a relationship, you got feelings, things that you start to have feelings involved. Then you start to worry about the things that they worry about. Unless you're just a cold-hearted motherfucker, you're going to worry about things that upset them or that they worry about because you want to make them feel happy. And that's one of the things that I've noticed that a lot of Black women don't understand. As soon as you calm and docile, the dude is going to do whatever it is to keep a smile on your face. Long as you do not fight him. He does not need to fight with the person he's in love with. Because he's like, well, fuck, I got to fight on my way home. If my tail light is out and I die, I got to fight with the people at work, got to fight with the people there, I got to fight with the perceptions. Then I got to come home and fight with your ass too. God damn, well, fuck it. I might as well eliminate one of the fights. And you know which one is the easy one to eliminate? The relationship. Because you still got to go to work, you still got to drive your car, you still got to do this, that, and the other to survive. But I don't have to be fucking with you.
Oh, so let me ask a big ass question. Did Barack Obama represent American Black men?
Unfortunately, no. he was Black, but he was more. He had a lot of Oreo in him. The fact that and he didn't live like if he would have grown up in a Black person's lifestyle, then I'd say that. But he grew up in an upper middle class lifestyle, had a lot of white people around him. So he never really experienced it, what it's like to be a black person. You know, if he'd have grown up, say, anywhere else, you know, he could leave Chicago, even if he did a good area of Chicago, you know, no. He didn't grow up in a right enough area. He had experience with what it's like to be black, but nowhere like near the average black person.
Okay. And since you mentioned Chicago, Roger.
Yes, sir.
Now you know one of his best friends in the world was Rahm Emanuel, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that was his boy. Every time somebody had a complaint about Rahm Emanuel, and let me see if I can get a visual up here.
He got him put on his Mayor of Chicago. He got him put on. Just keeping it real. He got him put on.
There was even speculation that show Boss with Kelsey Grammer was offhand about Rahm Emanuel.
You know, I didn't peep that, but you know, I didn't peep that promo. I'm saying that because I've never seen the show Boss. Had I known it was supposed to be about Rahm Emanuel, I probably would have tuned in.
Yeah, on the slide, it wasn't exactly named Rahm. Yeah, he wasn't exactly named Rahm Emanuel, but they said on the slide it was kind of about him. Now, as a Chicago native, what impacts did Rahm Emanuel, Obama's friend, have on Chicago? Was it a positive, a negative? Because I've heard a lot of negative stuff.
You know what? I just went and voted for a new mayor today. And we found out there's really no expiration date on being the mayor of Chicago. So he could have held that position for I don't know how long. But yeah, part of you know that I think it was the Quan McDonald story. He Rahm Emanuel was in charge, and when that police officer jumped out of a vehicle and shot a guy within 2 seconds, and he shot him, what was it, 15 times? Or was it 16 times?
Well, it was too many motherfucking times. I mean, you know, we'll put it like that.
Times. Yeah, way too many. That's where he ended up getting some pressure and had to step down from being mayor of Chicago. So like he came in as mayor being just as dirty as the old mayors were being based on what we hear. I'm gonna say that because you know technically ain't nobody been convicted or nothing, so can nobody sue me. But yeah, from based on what we hear about the old mayors being dirty, he came in the same way.
I mean, but look, you had Harold Washington too. Was Harold Washington dirty?
No. But we didn't hear about him being dirty. We heard about Mayor Daley being dirty, and then a couple generations before him, we heard about his father being dirty. They was really corrupt. They was, you know what I'm saying, mob ties, all that type of stuff. So Rahm Emanuel came in basically just keeping the status quo up about Chicago. And you know, if you're a police officer, you hear about how dirty the Chicago Police Department is, like around the nation. They have like the best reputation as far as being the most corrupt police.
Yeah, they recently the Department of Justice, I think, recently did an investigation on the Chicago Police Department, and they found all kinds of shit. They even found that police officers were dropping off gang members in rival gang territory.
You want to deal with some dirty cop stuff? Oh, Chicago got plenty of that for you.
And then you got like top shea butter feminist Jamila Lemieux.
I was just finna bring him up. Go
ahead. Yeah, like David, who would, you know, and I'll go ahead and let you talk about that for a second, Donnie, since you know, because I know about it too.
So let me just say this real quick. I'm so glad Rahm Emanuel was gone, and I'm so glad we was out there voting today. Because, like I say, there was no expiration date on being a Chicago mayor. You could just once you get elected, you could just sit, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's just crazy. And that's why, you know what I'm saying? That's part of the reason I now realize that was one of the other reasons that Harold Washington got killed back in the day. Because you couldn't unseat him. You know, and Harold
Washington was killed?
Oh, yeah. And for those around the country who don't know, Harold Washington was a great black man who ended up getting voted in as mayor of Chicago. But then they ended up killing him because he actually cared about black folks. And, you know, I need to do another show about him on my show one of these days. But
Harold Washington, because he's one of those black figures that he kind of got lost in time, but for guys like us that did not forget him, his memory lives on. Like like I remember being a little kid and I heard about how Harold Washington became mayor, and once again it was that sense of black pride, because I've been having that sense ever since I was a real little kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it just, the man always, every time I seen him in the picture, he always had a smile on his face.
Yeah, he was a good dude. Plain and simple, he was a real good dude. Actually cared about black folks and was ready to politically fight for black folks to get justice. Not just people saying justice, but to actually receive real justice. So he was definitely a great guy, a great mayor. We didn't have him long enough, but yeah, he was killed. He was too much for black. He was basically, he made a lot of white folks uncomfortable because he wasn't anti-black. He wasn't an anti-black person, especially not anti-black male. So that made a lot of folks uncomfortable.
Yeah, and I know we were talking about presidential landscape 2008 and beyond, but this is a picture right here of Harold Washington. One of in the way that Rogers framing it, one of Chicago's best mayors in recent memory.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and Rahm Emanuel, am I right in saying he's probably seen as an antithesis to Harold Washington?
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I am very glad that I just went out earlier today to vote for a new mayor. I'm so glad about that. I'm ecstatic about that.
Okay.
I felt that good. I probably ain't felt that good about a vote since the first time I voted for Barack Obama. I probably ain't felt that good. Real talk.
Yeah, I can say the same thing. I like here in Cleveland, we had Mayor Mike White for so long, and now we got Mayor Frank Jackson, and I see already he ain't really doing shit either. And I see already, I don't see nobody unseating him. By the time I feel like this, the only time they're unseated is when they want to be unseated, when they say it's just time to hang it up. Because basically what they do is put somebody in position for them to take their place. That's all they do.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's move right along. Let me ask y'all a question. Would you say that Barack Obama kind of missed an opportunity having an all-Democratic Congress his first 2 years as president?
It's hard to say he missed an opportunity because at the end of the day, no matter what, if he was going to really accomplish anything, he was going to get a lot of pushback on anything that he would have really have tried to do that was going to make a really big impact for black folks. So it's hard for me to say he really missed an opportunity because no matter what he did, it was going to be the wrong answer no matter what, as far as other people were concerned.
But we're talking about like a Democratic Congress here. The reason why people saying Barack Obama was not able to get a lot of things done was because of the fact that he had a Congress that was majority conservative Republican. Now,
but there were people in office that literally made a declaration saying whatever he tries to do, we're going to block him. Period.
Yeah, that was in the beginning. I remember that.
Yeah,
was it Mitch McConnell or was it another senator that said that Obama was going to be a one-term president?
No, I think it was him that got caught saying it. Did other people say it? Oh, I definitely believe so.
I believe other people say it too. I believe that was probably the word around the house. We're going to make sure that Barack Obama is a one-term president. But then in 2012, he went against dumbass Mitt Romney.
Yeah. I didn't understand the purpose of him running, but that's just me.
Yeah, Mitt Romney was a corporate shill, basically, that wanted to be president. And then he say stuff like, "I enjoy firing people." Yeah, you're a corporate shill. Yeah.
Well, I'm not even gonna lie. Mitt Romney was just put out there. I think that they knew he would lose. But what he was put out there to get Trump elected. That's why when Trump first came out, and I told everybody, I said, I hate to say this, guys, but Trump's going to win. And people were like, when he first announced, I was like, they're never. I'm letting you know, Trump is going to win. And people are like, why are you saying that? I said, he's going to win. They already put the Mitt Romney in there. Think about it. He's just like a new and improved Mitt Romney. And then now he's saying some of this bold shit. You don't realize people like bold shit. And on top of that, you see he got all that free press from saying that bold shit.
$1.8 billion of free press.
Mm-hmm.
1.8
You can't beat that. Right. I mean, his name was always in there. So basically,
$1.8 billion. There's no excuse for that at all. I mean, in Trump, you can't really blame Trump when the idiot ass networks keep putting him on the air every time he says something stupid.
it's not even the fact of that, but I mean, at first I told everybody, I said, well, how do you know he don't have some of his financial advisors saying this stuff? Because they know you say something stupid, they're going to keep replaying the shit. It's going to be news. I mean, if you really think about it, it's smart. Just like with, what's that Soldier Boy was saying all that dumb shit. And every time you look up in your feeds for YouTube, you see Soldier Boy. So, I mean, you keep your name in there, and that's exactly what he did for free press.
That's what they say. Bad publicity is still publicity.
Yeah. There's no bad advertising. What to say? No bad publicity. All advertising is good advertising.
Like some of the bad publicity black men being brutally honest gets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Dude, let me tell you something. And I'm not gonna say this YouTuber's name, but I click on a broadcast and 10 seconds later, my Facebook group's name comes up.
Can I do I know the YouTuber?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you
I know him?
Yeah, you know her.
You'll recognize their name if you said it.
They got any nicknames?
Let me just clue you in. Let me just clue you in on a time period where art was the thing. I mean, I don't know if I want to. Okay.
Where what was the thing?
I'll just go ahead and just let it go. It was Renaissance Woman.
No, unfortunately, Renaissance girlfriend she is cool on some aspects, but she doesn't realize she's a damn fool.
I'm not like I said, I'm not totally against Renaissance Woman. It's just that you can't sit there and keep deflecting and putting the blame on your attitude on a Facebook group. You were like that in the beginning. Like this is what I can't get people to realize and see. You were like that before this Facebook group was formed. All it seems like when you say stuff like that is that it confirms what these guys are saying. Women don't want accountability for shit.
I mean, I had talked to her actually offline for a couple hours one time, and I told her, I said, you don't realize something. You're in a perfect position to take over being one of the top women on that side. But I said, one of the things you need to do is you need to be more humble. You need to sometimes say, you know what? I said, don't always sit up here and be so one-sided when so much proof is hitting you in the face. And that's the problem where she would have way more viewers. So literally, she would have picked up way more men, but she didn't never say nothing bad about her girlfriend until it was damn near too late, where motherfuckers realized, oh, the only reason you saying shit now is because so many motherfuckers done shot the wagons all up that, you know. It's like, well, wait a minute. I done beat you over the head. I done showed you that two hydrogens and oxygen make water. I done, gave it to you. You done tasted it, drunk it, and felt it, shit it, and your ass still don't want to believe or still want to make an excuse on why a person shouldn't do nothing. Go somewhere.
My only thing is though, if you casually mention it like that, how many times have you actually mentioned it? If I click on a broadcast 10 seconds later, 10 seconds literally.
Question, Gav, is that Ren Judah? Whatever her name.
Yeah, that's her.
Okay, yeah.
All of these folks.
She is Space Cadet. Okay.
Drake.
Drake.
A lot of these people that's on YouTube right now circulating stuff. A lot of them were in that Facebook group, in my Facebook group. A lot of them were.
All my children.
Not even the fact of that, but what's so bad is this. If you ever notice too, as soon as you pin them in a corner on something and where they can't say nothing, they'll come out and be like, well, fuck you, motherfucker, you a little bitch ass nigga. Like, but that still doesn't have nothing to do with the question or the question I posed at hand. Well, nigga, I ain't listening to you. You ain't shit. But I'm just saying, 2 + 2 is 4. Motherfucker, fuck you. You didn't go to school yesterday, so you probably don't know that. But it is 2 + 2 is 4. I'm telling you, it is. No, motherfucker, I ain't, it's like they just go off on a tangent when you get them. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. They deflect like Wonder Woman and her bracelets. They just be deflecting all day.
All right.
Should be a
So
superpower.
yeah. Well, let's move right along because I do plan on doing a hangouts on the group itself, just to give people some insight on where I'm coming from with this. Because I would never like when I first formed that group, I would never thought of coming to YouTube. And it just like somebody was like, maybe you should try YouTube. I'm like, okay.
Now I'm curious. Have they been crying about us on YouTube all along?
I'm thinking it's a huge possibility.
Because it do make sense why Taz was in there caping so hard, looking dumb on a daily basis.
I hate to say something. They don't realize something. Taz, he got brother man. I hate to do this to him, but brother man got mental problems. He just set up gone, and he doesn't realize that.
He's
been used. But right, that's the truth. Yeah, he has been used, and they are using the fuck out of him. And as soon as they're done using him, they're gonna toss his ass aside. And because I heard him talking about it one day. I don't even know if he heard this, but they was just talking about how they attack dog.
Yeah,
I mean that's bad when a motherfucker, right?
The man is damn near 60 and is a broken jail nigga with that same mentality. Come on,
he's that old? How old is Taz? 60?
No, Taz ain't no 60. That's just some jab that people take.
Oh, okay.
Because we like gray in it. I think Taz is more like 42
that
or
nigga,
something.
Nah, ain't no damn 42. That nigga late 40s, early 50s.
Now here's a question: how many times that fool been in jail?
I don't know, but like this guy did a live just trying to put all the Taz's stuff out there, and like a lot of people were saying it's slander. I don't know whether it was true or not.
With him doing the crack.
No, the dude subbed, like they were saying that it was just straight slander. Like this like a lot of this stuff wasn't happening, that this was made up and all this other stuff. But
what I will say is you can Google the man.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
One thing I don't honestly, it doesn't matter. There's some.
I ain't gonna lie, he looked like a former crackhead. I done seen plenty of them. He does look like one.
I'm not saying crack.
No. I mean, I don't know. It just I would like if I'm gonna divvy out some info, I want to be sure that. No. Yeah.
No, like, I feel it don't even matter. It's his mentality. His mentality is pissed.
Right.
When he came on the show that one time, and he said that it wasn't pertinent for him to be able to go into a bank and speak the King's English and be able to have a conversation without speaking slang. That's when I was done. That when you are a grown ass man who basically are at the midway point of your life and you don't have the common sense to understand that you need to be able to at least speak the common fucking tongue properly, that's a problem for me.
Well, unfortunately, he's never grown up at all. I mean, he loves that street life, and he just don't realize. I mean, if Taz would do it, he would go back. He wouldn't change his life at all. He'd just go back and do the same stupid shit again.
Hey, you know what?
Nigga run around in the streets with a cane. Nigga, sit down.
Hey, we not about this free press, okay?
Yeah. You're right about that.
Yeah, we're giving this man shine.
I got clips for niggas. All right, my bad.
Yeah, but yeah. So I mean, it's whatever. We feel how we feel, and we can back it up. So there. So anybody out there listening, hey, whatever. But
now I'm kind of salty that we wasn't doing shows. I didn't know that it was a thing. Okay.
No, I didn't know it was a thing like that either until I started hearing stuff. But I will say this. I did actually hear Taz on the Obsidian show, and they backed him into a corner about certain stuff, and then he basically had to admit that certain stuff that Cynthia G was doing was hypocritical. But he's one of those people who goes from the context of, I don't research people, so I don't know what they did. All I know is what they did in front of me. And he really said himself that, I'm not going to judge people, especially over something he's done himself. Because he was like, because they was talking to him about her being a single mother. And he was like, well, I got kids myself, so I can't judge her for being a single mother because I done made a single mother. So, you know what I'm saying? He didn't have to backpedal a little bit on certain stuff, I guess. based on how they was coming at him on the show.
But
I
that's
happened to listen to. But,
No.
you know, at the end of the day, you know, we should all be trying to be better in general. Period.
No,
And
but what I'll say is this: it's okay to be like, okay, fine, but this is the problem: is Taz would jump in there and be jumping on motherfuckers just stating facts. This is the problem. It's okay to say y'all did this, that, and the other, but then you come in there talking shit and jumping on motherfuckers stating facts when you don't know shit. In other words, times like that, you just shut the fuck up. This is how you know it's a big difference from sitting up there being cordial and, hey, I don't know nothing about that shit. And why the fuck you jumping on everybody that say something about her ass? That's caping. That's a big difference. If you say, I don't know what's going on, or I
taking
didn't
that
know her at this
accountability.
time, there you go.
I want all of them on a show over here and just let like with y'all and we just gonna let it all hang out. Just one broadcast.
But why? You know he ain't gonna do nothing.
Why? Right. Taz ain't, unfortunately, all Taz gonna do is start muting people and then talking shit. I hate to say something. Unfortunately, the only thing he's good for is talking shit. You ain't done shit. You ain't built shit. You can't give nobody no really good advice. I mean, no offense. And then if you do give him any advice, no offense, you talk so much shit and act so childish. Would you take advice from a person who acts like that? I don't give a fuck if he told you he was God. You can't take advice from a crack. I mean, it's like this.
We ain't doing this for advice. Maybe I have a grievance. You know, anybody ever thought about that? Maybe.
No. You know what? My thing is my thing because I don't want to come off so Taz to be able to even say I was attacking him. My thing is at the end of the day, I'd rather have Taz talk for himself and speak for himself and really get into real conversations about stuff. But I don't want us to come off as we're attacking him and that man ain't able to defend himself or whatever.
No, well, playing. I ain't attacking him, man. I'm just, as I said it again, I'm just stating facts.
I mean, they cross
let me say this so I'm very clear. That man's not gonna do nothing to me physically, and we already had him on the show. You heard him just crying, ask for help, so he can't take me on a verbal situation. But I get what you're saying. I get exactly what you're saying. The man ain't here to defend himself. And I'm not saying, you know, I'm not talking about his past. His past, it just is what it is. That is not really my concern. My thing is, I think he's there, and they're using that man because I think he's a weak link, and it's just easy to use that man.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's what I think. They're using the poor man, and he just don't realize it. That's why I don't hate on him like that, because he don't realize he been fooled by him.
And I
he'll wake up one day.
That more on the women because they know what they're doing.
Well, I'm gonna say this: when it comes to men that have actually been the people that was fucking up the community and was doing dumb shit, they have to kind of side with women, because if they don't, how are they gonna come out? You can't be a leader when you lead when most of your life has been about doing non-leadership things or being the problem that the community is trying to fight against. You see what I'm saying? It makes you look. A lot of folks, you would have to just simply admit you were wrong, and most folks don't like to admit that they're wrong about stuff. So,
yeah, unfortunately,
especially us blacks, we are very hard pressed to admit we're wrong about anything.
Well, that's what gets me too. I noticed that a lot of people don't like to say they're sorry. I've said I'm sorry plenty of times, even times when I don't even think that I'm sorry, but if a person took it that way. But it's like motherfuckers don't realize you can get a lot more with saying, hey, you sorry, but they act like it costs them money. It don't cost you no money. You don't realize something. You can turn an enemy into an ally with sorry, but motherfuckers don't want to do that shit.
Yeah. So
conversation back on point. I realized I was wrong when I voted for Barack Obama the first time.
Oh man,
I wouldn't take the vote back because I didn't like what John McCain was presenting, and I didn't like what Mitt Romney was presenting. So I wouldn't take the vote back. But I just simply wanted what I thought I was gonna get. Now, did anybody ever say exactly what they wanted from Barack Obama?
No, not really. I was just hoping. I ain't even gonna lie. I was just like, man, I don't give a shit what it is. Just do something where I know that was for black people. He didn't do shit. That's
yeah. People ask on a few occasions. I remember in particular Roland Martin saying shit like, "Oh, it's the second term. He gonna do this." People got to understand. He been bombarded, and they won't let him do nothing. People have come out and asked for specifics. But I don't know if he's looking the other way. If he was looking for hand. My thing is I understand the economic game. You have to come to your senator, your politician, whatever level of the game he is, with some money. And you have to put it in his palm and say X, Y, Z. However, you would just think automatically a black man coming in America is going to look out for his people in some way, shape, or form. I don't feel like that was done by him at all.
Do you think that black people just expected him to do stuff?
I think, yes, black people expected him to do stuff because he ran on a platform of change, and it was a little change with a wink. He more or less said it, and the way he campaigned, even though he didn't say it, it was expected, and we didn't get any of that change. So he ran the okey doke con on us, and that's why black people have learned the second time around with Kamala's ass. We're not falling for the okey doke again. We had 8 years of the okey doke, and it's just not gonna happen again.
Yeah, because when Kamala came up with that Wakanda Forever, I was completely turned off. Completely. Anything that I might have liked about her or learned to like about her, that was thrown out the window with Wakanda Forever, because I really thought that she was not only it was a sad attempt to pander, she was insulting people's intelligence, especially black people. Now, sad part about that is a lot of these quote unquote gender first black women are not going to care about that.
No, they're not going to care about that. But I'm going to say this. When Obama ran the first time, talking about change and hope and all this type of stuff, Obama delivered exactly what he promised. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong. Think about what I'm saying. He delivered exactly what he promised.
All right, and he promised nothing. That's what people don't understand.
He promised. No, basically, he ran on symbolism.
He gave us a great symbol. He was when it comes to politicians or the appearance of black men or the image of the black family, he gave us all kind of great symbolism.
Yeah. He gave us some pictures that we can hang on our wall.
Yeah, the picture that you showed him earlier, I looked at that picture and said, man, that's a nice picture of a couple. Yeah. That was just a woman.
Yeah, absolutely. Now
he gave us what he promised.
Yeah, so let's move right along. The Flint water crisis, 2014. This happened.
Damn.
This happened.
Fuck was given.
Not a fuck.
This nigga got on actual TV drinking, talking about this is the water from Flint. Yes, delicious. Nigga, you had Aquafina in that cup.
Now, let me ask y'all a question. Did Obama drop the ball on Flint?
That nigga didn't drop the ball. He threw the ball. He knows he should have checked in on that. He knows what the fuck was going on. The fact that basically 35 minutes later, the moment his presidential vehicle left, the water went back to shitty. And when all of a sudden his glass was clean, he knew what the fuck was going on. He just didn't care. And that's the coldest shit I've ever seen in my life. I would expect that from a Trump. I would expect that from a Hillary. Your black ass went to that town and lied to everybody with a bold-faced fucking smile. Everything's all right here. Don't look at the water. And they still fucked up.
They still fucked up. And then like somebody tried to argue with me the other day. Well, they're starting to work on it now, but they got the funding and they kept blocking the funding and all that other stuff. And it wasn't Obama's fault and blah, blah, blah. I'm sitting up there like, why didn't the president impose his will to get those pipes fixed? Because, damn, those are people up there. I'm talking about men, women, and children. Those are people, human beings, people who voted for you.
Not a fuck was given.
Not a fuck was given. And them pipes still dirty. Now I've actually had somebody that actually said to me, well, Trump's president, he can handle it. I was like, it's been going on ever since Obama's presidency.
Wait a minute. Let me ask you. When did Trump start his presidency?
Trump started his presidency in 2016, technically 2017 when he was at the inauguration.
Yeah, January 20th, right?
Yeah.
What's today's date?
Today's date is February 27th, 2019.
And he started again. What year was it when he started again?
Like I said, technically he started being president in 2017. He was elected in 2016. He was inaugurated in January 2017.
So he's been on the job before 2 years.
Yeah, he's been on 3 years. Well, almost 3 years now. Well, not even almost 3 years. It'll be 3 in January 2020.
January 17th in 2017. He was on the job that day. That was the day he started. Not the day running, the day he started. And January 20th of 2019 has already come and gone. So he's been on the job for 2 full years, and I've never heard anything about a plan to fix that issue. So for anyone to say something about Trump can handle it now, he knew about that problem before he got the job. He still ain't done it. So, I mean, you can't hide behind he cares. He just ain't gotten to it yet. Because the man he knew about that, and it was a crisis situation because it's a whole town of people being hurt by this water. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you could say a whole lot of stuff, but the fact that there is no plan to even fix the problem speaks volumes. And, and that's one of the worst images I ever saw of Obama. Obama came in, he walked away. I don't care about him drinking that water and with the fake smile and all that type of stuff. When you walked away without a plan to solve the problem, that's when I saw you look horrible. I understand I'm gonna smile in your face. I'm the president. I'm gonna allude like everything can be taken care of. It's gonna be all right. But when you walked away and there was no plan, you didn't even have a boardroom with niggas to come up with a plan. Man, you look horrible as a president. At that moment.
Who's the mayor or the governor? Was it Rick Scott or something like that?
Yeah, he looked like to me he looked like a murderer. That's what he looked like to me.
But they kept saying they kept throwing it on him. He's blocking the funding to get the pipes fixed. So what you're telling me, a governor is more powerful than the president?
Well, technically, yes. See, a lot of people don't understand that about politics. The president is not supposed to even be as perceived to have power that we make him out to look. The government is actually supposed to be more powerful than the president. Now, I don't necessarily go that way all the time because people are so politically ignorant.
So we just don't factor in the fact that this guy's doing a poor job helping his citizens. That's what you're saying. So it ain't worth a fuck. It ain't worth a fuck that you still got people. And what was that little condition when they drank that dirty water that they can't get rid of? I forgot the name of it. Lead poisoning. Yeah, lead poisoning.
They said he was talking about death because people die from it.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Dysentery.
I believe so.
Dysentery. When you drink dirty water, you get dysentery. But a lot of them will keep getting lead poisoning too. And what lead poisoning stays with you, meaning that it will infect your DNA. And like when you shoot a nut up in somebody, that kid starts out being affected by lead poisoning.
Yeah. It's a generational thing. But I do want to bring up the fact, and I'm finna Google it real quick because I remember some deaths because of that water. So I want to make sure I don't want to put that on them if it didn't happen. So I'm gonna just check it out real quick.
Well, if you have lead poisoning, you have to be careful in children in the developmental stage. It doesn't affect adults as much as it affects children in the developmental stage. Basically, if you drink water or exposed to high levels of lead, like I work in the home repair field, so if you like scraping paint, that's a real big thing because if the kids can just lead paint or lead dust from sanding, it can actually cause their brain not to develop. So basically, they'll be more likely to be on IEPs and stuff like that if they got high lead levels. They'll even come take your children out of your home. Say if you go to the doctor and take the child for a checkup and the child has high lead levels, they'll remove him from the home because that is causes very bad brain damage that is unrecoverable.
Yeah. Yeah. So, is it fair to pin the Flint water crisis on Obama?
He was part of it. I'm not gonna put the whole thing on him, but bro, you was the president when it was going down. You could have
Okay.
did something to help those people.
So,
Yeah,
is
he
it
could have done
fair?
something, but
So,
no, I
is it
wouldn't say it's fair.
so? Is it fair to pin it on Trump?
He the president and still going down. He could do something to help those people. So yes,
Mm. All right. Let
that's
me
how
just
I'm
say
looking
something
at it.
real quick. Is that you, Shy?
Yeah, he on there.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if he wants to be a part of this because we're talking about politics and presidents now, and that those are literally his bosses. So, I do appreciate him for showing up, but it's like I don't want him getting in any trouble. Like it
Right.
basically, I don't want him getting in any trouble. So, he can be here if he wants to. Yeah, but anyway, thanks for coming. uh, but okay, we talked about the Flint water crisis. So, like, did I ask the question? Was it fair to pin the Flint water crisis on Trump?
Oh, you did now. I was saying yes. That's what
You're
I'm
saying
saying.
yes, it is fair to pin it on Trump because there's still no forward movement, no
Yeah,
action on it.
exactly.
Yeah, he don't give a fuck. It's
Exactly.
not even a
Hey,
You
man,
conversation right now.
can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was on mute, but yeah, like no, I wanted to be a part of the conversation. Of course, yeah, I really can't talk about it because I'm employed by, but I can listen to it all day and everything. I support the show and everything. Shout out to Black Men being brutally honest with everyone. Shout out to you ain't shit for watching. Shout out to anybody else who's on here. But yeah, I'm currently working with my PC, building my stuff. But I wanted to be a part of the conversation and just listen to it because it's very interesting to me.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. And
fair
yes,
enough.
we support Dark Skater 7 too as well. So
Appreciate it, man.
anybody listening, he's a Dark Skater 7 is a gaming channel, and if you're into that kind of stuff, please subscribe to Shy here. He has some really good stuff on it. It's like, and if I'm not mistaken, you're building a PC right now, a gaming PC.
Yeah, and it's a monster. Like it's it's a monster. But unfortunately, I'm struggling right now. I just I just installed a NVMe drive. If anybody knows any tech stuff, NVMe drive is like a solid state drive. So I'm doing that right now, just doing all the specs, and then I should be back up and streaming tomorrow. But if not, it's because I've ran into some problems. But anyway, get back to the subject, man. Anybody else just join Dark Skater 7, jump on that site, and you can see what I'm getting into. But other than that, let's get back to the conversation.
All right, cool, cool, cool. All right, cool. So we've already pretty much established that it's not really fair to put all of it on Obama. But it's like, okay, yes, you can put it on Trump because he's the current president. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the shit carried over, and Trump ain't worried about nothing but that motherfucking wall. He worried about a useless wall. The wall is not gonna keep no damn illegal immigrants out. Now, I believe some other things, but we can get into that later. But at the same time, it's black people out here who can't fucking have a sip of water. So, you know what? I expect Trump to be on some asshole shit to black people. I'm kind of hurt, Barry. Barry, I'm kind of hurt. Barry, what's popping, Barry? Your wife was out here talking about some black girls rock, but black girls is thirsty. What's going on?
But, he done left it all to Trump, and I'm gonna make this clear for those who listen to the future. I'm not putting the blame on Trump because he was in charge when it came up. What I am doing is I'm putting the blame on him because he's been on the job for 2 years and ain't did nothing as far as I know. How long do you got to be in office for you to take that serious when people are in such stress about that situation? Like, people live in that town. Like, this is not a toy. This is not a game. People don't come back with second and third lives. They live there. Like, that has to be addressed. They're still citizens.
They're human beings. They're human beings. I'll put it like that.
I'm not gonna even stress them on the human being side. Trump ain't got to take care of human beings around the world, but
yeah, I know that. But still, though, this is happening on your soil, on your land that you say you love so much.
Bro, come on, what's going on? Like,
Yo, let me jump in real quick. I'm just gonna say this: this whole wall situation is a sideshow. It really is. It's a sideshow. Like half the stuff that's going on in the media right now with the back and forth as far as like the wall. Come on now. Anytime the Simpsons can predict who's going to be the president and they actually become the president, it's a joke. The longer it goes, the more I'm embarrassed. I'm like, come on, man, what is this?
So, what you trying to say? You got some insider information, bro?
No, I ain't got no inside information. But I'm saying like this whole situation, like the whole president, like it's been a joke for so long. I'm used to like, all right, I get my orders, I go do what I got to do, and I come back home. That's what I'm used to. It's pretty cut and dry. But like right now, it's like it's too much. Like the president shouldn't be on Twitter all damn night. You know what I mean?
That's crazy, ain't it?
It's crazy. It's embarrassing.
You know what?
Like where's the distinguished nature of such a high position in the government? You know what I mean?
So I'm trying to say Shy. President can do what he wants.
You know what? The funny thing is, no, he can't. You ain't supposed to be acting a fool on Twitter, bro. I'm sorry.
You better respect
You're
your
not
commander, chief.
You're not supposed to be acting a fool on Twitter. And I can get in trouble if I get in trouble, I get in trouble. But I just feel like I come from old school military, and you're not supposed to be acting a fool on social media. If you're the president,
like this.
But
that's
the main thing he's saying is whatever the president gives him orders to do, he's down to do it. That's the main thing he's saying.
Nah, that ain't what I'm saying. We have the option. We have the option to refuse unlawful orders.
Now, in my 17 years of the restaurant industry.
So if it's something that goes against my personal morals, and I feel like it's going to endanger myself or endanger my troops that are like under my command, then I have the right to refuse it. So,
right. But other than that, he's willing to do what the president wants. Other than that,
if it makes sense, I'm gonna do it. If it don't make no sense, it's not happening.
Now, when I was in the restaurant industry, if we had somebody insubordinate, we would fire them immediately.
You know how many page levels I got, man?
not exactly. Not exactly. We do work with some people.
I got a lot of page 11s already. I got paperwork, man. There's been a couple times when I've been insubordinate because there was something I had questioned because it didn't really make any sense because it threatened the life of my subordinates or myself. So, I might not
need to go into detail. We're not even going to actually go into detail about it.
Well,
yeah, nah.
All right. Well, let's move along. I want to start talking about the 2016 presidential campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that whole debacle, how it was a mess on both sides. Like just the whole, especially this was probably the most disappointing time I've ever seen the Democrats in. It was a huge lack of solidarity, and it didn't seem like the whole goal was to get a Democrat in office and to beat the Republican runner, and they did none of that. So, just real quick question for Judge. Judge still there? Oh yeah. But anyway, who did y'all support going into the 2000s?
I'm here.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you said you were a Trump supporter. I mean, you voted for Trump. Did you support Trump through the entire campaign?
Hell no.
Okay. Who was your guy?
Bernie.
Okay. So with that, Bernie was my guy too. Like I was actually on board with Hillary. Like I was on board with Hillary. Yeah, Hillary's gonna be the first woman president. And I was one of those people that really didn't research my facts like that. I was just rolling with the Democratic thing. But then I started watching Bernie Sanders speeches. And then I watched him with this special with Killer Mike, and a lot of the things that he was talking about on this platform were in line with a lot of the things that I wanted. Like I didn't care about paying an extra little bit on my check just so everyone can have free health care. I didn't care about that at all. Like I didn't care about people getting free college. Like I was having a conversation the other day with somebody about no, it wasn't even, no, wait a minute. I'm getting my stories mixed up. During the 2016 presidential campaign, I was unfriended by somebody because I basically said that no employer is going to ask how much you pay for your college. Yeah, I mean, he tried to make up the dumbass argument that the quality of education is going to go down if it were free. I was like, no. no. Like I said, no employer is going to ask you how much you spent on your college, and he unfriended me for that stuff. So I mean, I don't care, douchebag. But I supported Bernie Sanders because it's like this, and I told somebody this. Even if what he was saying was bullshit, I liked his bullshit. I like this bullshit, and during the Democratic part of the process, I was a Bernie guy. I straight turned from Hillary to Bernie. Now Bernie Sanders has thrown his hat in again to run as president. Now being a Bernie guy, I don't think he's gonna win. He has the best chance, definitely, but I don't think he's gonna win this time.
Do you think he's the most qualified?
Do I think he's the most qualified as far as okay, he's more qualified than Trump.
Hey, you know what? At this moment, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this, at this moment, the average drive-through worker at McDonald's is more qualified than Trump.
Oh Lord!
In the restaurant industry, I would have to agree.
And I'm saying this like because I really mean this.
The toilet paper I flush down the toilet is more qualified than Trump.
you can tell, like, just watching this guy, he's a fucking idiot.
Well, you can tell he paid for everything that he has, everything.
Like, because, like, you want to give somebody a fair chance, and then after a while, you're like, you know what, this ain't it. This ain't it.
No, really.
Here's a question: you think you're gonna get back in?
Probably. You know what? And you know what? Probably so. Because the supporters are just that gung-ho about it. I won't even lie. Probably so.
Well, you know what? I'm just.
And that's a sad thing.
Well, I'm not voting for Kamala Harris. I know that, so I ain't gonna vote for him.
Bernie, I'm gonna go on record.
But
I'm gonna go on record. If Bernie becomes the Democratic candidate for the presidency, I will vote for Bernie Sanders. I will go in like election day 2020 in that booth, and I'm gonna hit Bernie Sanders' name. I just want somebody in office who has the best interests of the American people at heart, and like not no sideshow, not no crap, no, like, just do your job. That's it.
You know what? I'm gonna have to check on this. I actually just looked up the qualifications to be president of the United States. I'm trying to see if it's what I remember, like when I was in school, because I did have to learn about this stuff. You got to be 35
no
years
felonies,
old,
no president, and naturalized citizen, right?
You just have. I don't even think it was a such thing as a felony or anything like that. You just had to be 35. You're supposed to be a natural born citizen. I'm looking this up through Google. It says, wait a minute, maybe I'm reading that wrong. A president must be a natural born citizen of the United States, a resident for 14 years and 35 years of age or older. So yeah, you just got to be
a resident for 14 years.
Yeah, well, you know what? No, I think it's resident.
I think you got to be born.
No, it said you had to be a natural born citizen, but it's just saying you had to be living here because you could be born.
Oh, okay.
But then you left and live somewhere else. You got to be residing here for at least 14 years.
Pull a white cliff.
Yeah, you can be gone to November. Not for too long anyway.
But you know what though? It's funny. I asked a lot of Trump voters who they originally supported, and they will say Bernie Sanders.
That's on Hillary.
I wouldn't mind supporting Bernie Sanders for president, but I know Trump is going to be back in office. That I already know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying don't vote in another direction, but I'm saying The same way I knew Trump was going to be president the first time, I figured that out once I heard Trump was in the race. That's when I found out he was going to be president because the man had a hit TV show. Real talk.
Man, you know what? That's the sad thing about it is it has nothing to do with if somebody's qualified or whether or not they have like an actual political agenda that makes any sense. It's because people is popular. It's pretty much always the popular vote. But as far as like, well, it's a popular vote, and also I think honestly, and this is what I think. Honestly, I think that Trump being in office was necessary because it shows us exactly where we are as far as an American people, our standpoints and the different opinions and the different political standpoints of people across the board, and that goes for racism and stuff like that. It doesn't exist anymore. Yes, it does. One of my friends here, they had a rally here before. I think it was during the campaign, and he wore a Black Panther comic book T-shirt to the rally. He got kicked out.
Man, they don't like comic book characters.
And that's the thing. That speaks to the intelligence of the people who are actually coming to these rallies. It wasn't political. It was a comic book. They saw Black Panther and thought, "Oh no, Black Panther, kick him out."
No, it was just a reality check. A lot of people didn't realize that. And, it's not like these racist people here. They always been there.
Yeah, they've always been there. And see, the thing is, we've been saying it for years. Racism has not gone anywhere. It's been refined. It's been hidden. It's been, it's still here. But we've been saying it for years. Like, it won't exist if you don't talk about it. It's still here. But anyway, shout out to Offbeat Jackson. Because that's my homeboy, DJ Young Venom. He's the one that showed up to the rally and got kicked out just for wearing a Black Panther T-shirt. It was a comic book. It had the Black Panther with the full vibranium suit on. He got kicked out. They're like, "Yo, did you not read this?" It wasn't anyway. But yeah,
I get what you're saying. Now,
and I'm in Jackson, Mississippi.
I've thought about running for president a few times myself. Not saying I won't not actually do it, because I might actually run for president one day. And the reason is you only got to be 35 years old. Yeah, I've been living in the country my whole life. And no, I'm not a politician, but I don't want to be a politician because at the end of the day, the government was not set up for people to be in political power and be running stuff every single day. It's not even supposed to be a job.
It's set up for the American people, like the regular Joe.
Exactly. And I think we need to start having some regular Joes back in office. I don't even like when people say, well, what type of political experience do they have? The job is not for people with a bunch of political experience. The job is for a person who cares about the American people, who represent their section of the American people, which is why I actually think about running for president, because I think a regular Joe needs to be behind the wheel of some of this stuff.
You know what? Do that. And I would support you. And I'm saying this because you have politicians who are getting paid these crazy wages, these crazy salaries and stuff. They have a different standpoint as far as like regular life goes, because they have like extra amounts of money and stuff like that. They get these houses and stuff, all this bullshit and everything, but like they don't understand like the common sense, bottom line, ground level person. See, with you being a regular person, you can understand, you can relate to me, you can relate to the next man, right? With this guy that's getting like this huge salary and stuff, he can't bring himself down to that level because he doesn't understand like what's going on the ground level. It doesn't make any sense to him because those problems that we see on a regular basis, they don't exist to him.
Well, a lot of people don't realize, that's one of the things I always say. You can go ahead and if a person's making $10 million a year, and you say, you got to pay 30% of your money in taxes. People, he may be pissed because it's a lot of money, but he ain't going to starve. Guy's making $10 a year, and you say you got to give up 30% of your shit. That dude may die.
Yeah. And you're right.
Well,
my bad. I'm
like
sniffling the phone. I got fucking the flu.
Well, I've actually thought about certain problems that we have as a country, and I've actually figured out certain solutions we can do as a country. And by the fact that I go to work and I have a full-time job and I can come up with solutions that can actually be implemented, lets me know that people in these political power positions, whatever it is, senator, mayor, whatever the case your position is, if I can figure out how to solve America's problems, I know y'all could too. Period. Because I figure them out doing a whole different job that ain't got nothing to do with politics. And I thought about this stuff many times over, and I've had different jobs while I was doing it. But I sit there, mind is free, do certain stuff. Well, when you do a job for a long enough period of time, you start doing it in a subconscious manner because you don't have to think about every little detail of the job. You just start going through it, so your mind can go to other places. And I believe if I can figure out how to solve a lot of issues, and I don't even have to have a job in politics, there's nowhere in the world that these folks in power can't figure out these solutions. It's just nowhere in the world.
You're making too much sense there, man. You got to stop that, man. You're making too much sense.
Well, so yeah, I might run for president one of these days.
I say go for it, and I'll support you, man. Because like right now, like just given the climate, the current climate of America right now, man, we need somebody who is not trying to be spotlight or trying to be everything else. Somebody who is actually trying to be the fucking president.
Well, all I think is I've lived as the people. I don't have a super squeaky clean background. Now I didn't been pulled over by the police. I didn't got tickets. You know what I'm saying? I didn't. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? We call you a Mustang. We call you a Mustang. You ever heard that term before?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
So, okay, in the military, you got your guys who go through, high school, they get picked on or whatever, and then they decide, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the military. I'm gonna go to OCS. That's gonna be Officers Training Academy or Officers Training School, and I'm gonna go ahead and be an officer. They have no experience of being enlisted, right? So the person who comes through it, they're enlisted first. Well, let me back it up. The person who goes straight to OCS is an officer. Usually they're an asshole. They're going to come down. They're going to start, shouting commands and stuff. They haven't had any experience in anything else in life. They have never led anyone. But the person who comes in and is enlisted first for a couple of years, and then they go to OCS, they make a better officer because they've seen through the enlisted eyes, and they also have trained as an officer. So we call them Mustangs. Those are the best officers, hands down, because they have your best interest at heart, because they've seen through your eyes and they understand what it is to be an enlisted personnel member or military member, and then they become an officer and get put into leadership, and they know exactly what's going on with you, but they can also see the bigger picture as an officer. So that's what you would be called as far if you ever ran for president, because you've been on the common man side. You haven't been a political personnel. You haven't been any kind of in politics.
I didn't work
right.
Ways. I know what
so you know what's up.
But I think
you know what it feels like to struggle.
Exactly. My parents ain't rich. I didn't get sent to this school just because of this reputation. None of that. So I don't have all that type of stuff going on. But I think America needs people like me to start getting back into these political seats.
That's what it's supposed to be, man.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I've thought about running. Not that I think I'm going to necessarily just come out and win, but I think we need to start pushing that a regular person needs to be in charge. And if maybe I lose, maybe the next regular guy can win.
Hey, as long as you take something away from it, it's never a loss.
Well, no, it ain't going to be a personal loss for me. Because at the end of the day, if I get to see, man, I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm ready to solve a lot of these problems, and I know how to do it without hurting people and things like that. Like even with the, well, I'll say that for a different show.
Okay.
But man, well, you know what? I'll throw this out. Just on the tax situation, you know what I'm saying? I would, if I had the power to do it. If I had the power to do it, everyone would stop paying income taxes immediately. there'll be a 15-cent tax on every dollar you spend. 5 cents goes to the federal, 5 cents to the state, 5 cents to your city or province wherever you live, and that way they can handle that money to get things done. And you as a person to see, are the people I'm putting in charge handling things properly? And if you actually got your whole paycheck, everyone, number one, gonna feel a lot better about getting their whole paycheck.
All right.
Period. You know, so that's the instant boost in the economy, and it'll lead to a lot of other different things too. But you can still have programs and different things going because the government's still getting money, and based on how the Constitution set up taxes, now every tax you do is a voluntary tax because you're only paying tax.
Stop. See, stop. You're making too much sense, man.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Making too much sense. They gonna shut this whole show down, man. Because you're making too much sense. Because it make too much. Honestly, because speaking like that,
I'm saying I've had real jobs.
No, I better say up. The show got shut down. No,
my bad. I pulled the mic out. But no, speaking like that, you're making too much sense, and really, it's like it sounds like you're trying to benefit the common man. I don't know, man. They might be looking for you. You just put that out in the universe. That's a problem.
Yeah. So let's move right along. And yeah, you'll definitely be getting my support, Roger. So, okay, there have been 10 Democrats that declared that they're going to run for president. I can go ahead.
How dare you think about regular people? Damn it!
But see, that's what it's supposed to be all about anyway, though. I mean, you know. Okay, but here's what it is. There are 10 Democrats that declared the presidency. You know, they're going to run for president. I'm going to talk about the 5 most famous ones because they got Julian Castro here who declared, but I don't think Julian Castro has a chance. This plain guy named John Delaney and a couple of other, Kristen Hildebrand and some lady that name I can't even pronounce. But let's talk about the most famous ones. Okay, you got Cory Booker. You have Tulsi Gabbard. You have Kamala Harris. You have Elizabeth Warren, and you got Bernie Sanders. Those are the 5 most famous ones. So just give me a yay or nay when I call these names and tell me why, if y'all know anything about these guys. Okay, Cory Booker.
No.
I don't know nothing
about him. I'm going to say no to Cory Booker because he voted against bringing pharmaceuticals from Canada, from across the border. And he said some kind of stupid shit to justify it. Like Canadians use angry hornet venom in their medications, and they don't really care about their citizens. And my question to that is, how do you know the hornets are angry?
Very good question.
So basically, you just play like old Kamala Harris. You're trying to play people for dumb motherfuckers because you taking money under the table. So can't trust that guy. Tulsi Gabbard. What do you think of her?
So before you move on, I was gonna say when it comes to Booker too, that man cannot seem to handle a hot seat. When he starts getting questioned, you crack down on that brother seems to fall apart with his answers. Like,
okay, so
he gets ridiculous.
So he's no Barack Obama. That's what you're telling us.
Man, he ain't even close.
He's not
man,
even close.
You can't handle an interview. How can you handle being in charge of the free world? Man can't handle an interview. But I'm sorry. Go ahead. Who we moving on to?
Tulsi Gabbard. She was the U.S. rep that backed Bernie Sanders in 2016.
She threw her head in?
Yeah, she has thrown her hand in to run for president.
She throw it the fuck home.
I don't think she has enough going into any kind of presidential race. Like I don't think it'll be, and I really don't even think it'll be enough to beat Trump.
Honestly, a lot of these women just hoping they can be the first president, and they just think women just gonna blindly go after them. And don't get me wrong, I know some women will, but I think it's just they got a vagina, so they think they got a shot.
Yeah, well,
the climate we're in, it's proper for them. I mean, it's not the climate we're in, especially a black woman. It's probably a high chance.
I don't think Tulsi Gabbard is a completely bad choice. I just don't think that she's going to have the momentum it takes to beat Trump. I just don't think so.
I'm not even saying any woman's a bad choice. I just think at the end of the day, they just feel like the country's gonna vote for a woman. So the fact that she has a vagina, she thinks she got a real shot, whether
But then
she's
again,
done something good enough or not.
based on the rhetoric of sexism and and all of that, do you really think that they can believe that they believe that they can win just because they're a woman? Because the narrative is they can't win because they're a woman.
No,
No, they
No,
Ron,
can't
that
win.
ain't the narrative. I ain't gonna say that's the narrative. Maybe they used to be the narrative, but
Right.
I ain't gonna say that's the narrative anymore. But at the end,
Because
if they can
you
actually
see,
win, I don't believe so.
but you see that if you notice with this Captain Marvel movie coming out, and you see that chick said some like all straight up feminist type shit, she getting backlash because people talking about boycotting the movie, which I hate to say. Men need to do that. Men need to stand up and say we tired of this feminist bullshit. A woman say some bullshit, or we hurt their feelings, and that
Yo,
would be
what
the
did you say?
perfect thing. She was just saying like,
No,
oh,
she's
she
like
said something
justice
about white
warrior.
people. She was a white one. She said something about white men, straight men. She got a problem. Basically, that was basically what it is. I don't know what it was in verbatim, but just look on YouTube. They're
She
like
made
literally,
a few
they
comments.
even Marvel has lowered their projections on. They were saying opening weekend was supposed to be 170 million. They've lowered it to hundreds of million. So basically, because they're really, she getting
Wow.
backlash already because people talking about wait a minute. So wait, and I mean, I hate to say, men need to, and black men need to step up and get behind this too. Say no, because they don't realize if we can stop this feminist movement like this, it's gonna bite more black people more than it bites white people. Because I got a friend of mine, he is a partner at a law firm. He told one of the paralegals, they was all in a group, and then she was the newest person there. She said, "Okay, well, yeah, we want you to be the journalizer to write everything down, that we start talking." This bitch went out and with the and said that she felt that the only reason why they told her to do the writing because she was a woman. Do you know they had to fly somebody specially out there and be trained on that because
Mhm.
they didn't want no backlash for that? And he's like, dude got paid like $15,000 for one day of work.
Well, they worked
I
out for
mean,
somebody.
really, because he said that literally, they're so he's scared of this Me Too movement bullshit. Where the worst, I mean, literally, I told her, well, if I was any company, I just wouldn't hire no fucking women. Y'all hate me. Oh, we don't hire women anymore. What are you talking
But
about?
you know what though?
That's what I said.
But you know what though? That's kind of that's kind of what you said was kind of I don't disagree with it, but it's kind of a fear mongering statement that
Hmm.
if the Me Too movement were to gain momentum, that corporations will stop hiring women because it's like it won't matter whether you're qualified or not. Whenever they want to play the victim card, they can do that. And and ultimately, I feel like the Me Too movement is going to make it create a more losers than winners.
Yeah, but they
So
don't realize this is plain and simple. Me Too movement is going to shoot themselves in the foot because what they're going to do is
they're already
any
doing
lick of trouble, you're going to get rid of their ass. And I mean, for men, I mean, if I was men, I'd tell her, oh, well, no, because of the Me Too movement, no, if you want to go out on a date with me, you got to pay for everything. If you want to plain and simple, oh, when you meet me, no, plain and simple. You got to write, oh, I know you just met me 5 minutes ago, but you got to sign this form saying you want to have sex with me. Oh, you don't want to sign this form? Cool, too
But
bad.
you know what though? It's probably going to end up coming to that just to cover yourself in all legalities possible because of things like that keep happening.
I mean,
Uh,
but think about it from a guy's point of view. You meet a chick and be like, oh, wait a minute, you got to sign this thing form saying you want to have sex with me. Oh, you don't want to sign it? Too bad. That way you know right off the rip if you get to, oh, well, you signed the form. Come on, let's go ahead and have the sex and get it over with.
mhm.
Guess what? I was just playing your ass. Get the fuck out of here after they're done.
Hey, let's move along. So, yeah, let's move along with as far as the most famous Democratic presidential candidates. We mentioned Booker. We said that was a no. Gabbard, that's a no from me. I don't know about y'all. Um, um, Kamala Harris. I mean, we pretty much already said no.
Yeah, absolute no on that one.
I
Yeah,
said, I'll vote for Bernie. I'll vote for Bernie.
yeah. I was getting to Bernie in just a second, but before Bernie, it's Elizabeth Warren. Now, here's why I'm upset with Elizabeth Warren. She wasn't like you did all of that. You and Bernie Sanders are pretty much the same person, except for one of you are male and one of you are female. But you turned around and you endorsed Hillary Clinton. Think about it. Her and Bernie have identical platforms, almost identical. but she turns around and endorses Hillary Clinton. That one inconsistency to me, like right there, told me about Elizabeth Warren. And then the whole Pocahontas, well, the whole thing where she was trying to push that she was Native American, but
man,
but didn't they do a DNA test and found out there was like no Native American in her?
$5 Indian is what she was.
Five what?
Yeah, it was like 1% or something like that.
She's a $5 Indian.
Oh, a $5 Indian. Oh.
Yeah, people basically paid to get on that Dawes Road.
That's what I'm tired of. Like the candidates, I guess, they're pandering too much to the people. Like, why do you have to pander if what you stand on is truth and what you stand on is like legitimate and genuine? Then just stand on that instead of like going for it to each individual group and trying to pander and trying to make sure that you get their vote. Like, what's the point? Wait, what did Kamala Harris say? She was listening to Tupac and smoking weed and
in the 90s.
She took a picture.
89 or some shit. 89.
She took a picture.
86.
She took a picture with putting hot sauce on food, and I'm like, didn't you see how well that worked out for Hillary Clinton?
Stop doing that shit. Stop doing that dumb shit. You look stupid. You look dumb.
To me, that's proof you're not one of them. Because
you're not.
You wouldn't have to show it to me.
Because just be yourself. It was a gunnery sergeant that told me a long time ago. He said, do the right thing and just be yourself long enough and work hard, and the right person will see it. Meaning that don't kiss nobody's ass, because a lot of people gain rank because they kiss ass. A lot of people gain rank because they're doing X, Y, Z. Just do your job the way you're supposed to do it, and the right people will see it over time, and you'll move up, and you're going to earn it and deserve it. Mm-hmm. Bottom line. So instead of taking pictures with fucking hot sauce and saying, oh yeah, I was listening to Tupac in 86, don't do that shit. Be genuine and be yourself. If you don't have to gain the black vote by saying you listen to Tupac, if they understand that you actually care about them and give a fuck, we're gonna vote for you. Point blank.
What makes you feel that the fact that you listen to Tupac in '86 don't have anything to do with my political views?
No, she meant 96, right? She meant 96.
Thank you.
She because was it's stupid. Club and was pandering fucking hard and shit.
Yeah, even if it's 96, though, what they got to do with my political views? Music.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah, I get totally what you're saying.
No. I'm just want to say for the listeners, you went way out of your way to insult my intelligence. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you went that far out the way to insult my intelligence, like, come on, man. Like, I can't vote for nobody like that.
It's not even insulting intelligence. It's that what that is they have other people in their ears talking about, hey, you need to say this. Hey, you need to do that. Instead of firing all the advisors, saying, look, you don't know who the fuck I am. You don't know who I am. I'm going to talk to the people because I'm going to talk to the people because this is what I want to do. They don't have a purpose. They have an ulterior motive on exactly what they're trying to do.
But let me say this. If you don't even know that you're trying to insult my intelligence, you're definitely too dumb for me to vote for you to lead me in anything. You know what I'm saying? If you saying the advisors is telling you to do it, and you can't even recognize the fact that that's a dumb move, okay, those are the people you listening to. So who you gonna put in place if you gain the office? Who are you gonna have in place? You gonna have other.
That's why they need to wipe the whole board. Just wipe the board. Fuck everybody who's running, because everybody's got a reason why they're running. Nobody's doing it for a genuine reason. Wipe the board.
Yeah,
Start over again.
I'm cool with Bernie. I will say that I'm cool with Bernie.
I like Bernie's standpoint from when he first tried to run, but honestly, like, I look at everybody like, all right, there's got to be a new way. We got to shake the system up to a point where it's not just us with the same system, because obviously this shit ain't working. It's getting worse and worse. When we get to a point where we elect a fucking idiot to be the president, then something ain't working. We got to revamp some shit. We got to rewrite some shit. Say what?
I didn't help him get in office. I didn't vote for Trump, and I didn't vote for Hillary. There are other political parties out there, and I voted for another political party, and I wish
People
other
were forced to vote for the lesser of two evils, or not vote at all, or vote for some people that they knew wasn't gonna fucking win.
no, no,
That's a
okay,
bad
right.
That's how you
situation.
think Trump got in there. That's how he got in there.
That's a bad situation. When you think
No,
about
no,
it,
no.
that's fucked up.
This is my thing. This is what I want people to realize about political parties. If you take time out to find out about the other political parties that are not being advertised on television and
Right.
start voting in those directions, even if you end up with a Democratic or Republican person as the person who wins the office, those people would then have to start running on things for the people in general. Right now, the presidents they move according to corporations because
Mhm.
corporations fund them. Republicans know they're gonna get your vote. If it's not gonna go to them, it's gonna go to a Democrat. They already don't care about what y'all have to say or think about anything because your vote is not even important. It's only about the money they're gonna get to go with it. Now, if for people's vote to matter, we have to start voting in different directions where they
People don't
have to
understand
actually
that
make.
it's more than one party.
What I'm
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
if we don't start voting in those other directions, the candidates don't have to look out for the people. They only got to look out for corporations at this point. You see what I'm saying? The best corporate representation gets the victory, and it'll stay that way until we start voting for the parties that everybody say ain't gonna win. If you don't vote for them parties, you ain't gonna get nothing.
But
That's
you
just the
know what
reality.
though? But you know what though? You almost have to take mainstream media out of the equation in order for that to happen. You got to go more toward independent media because mainstream media is going to shape the narratives the way they want it to. Just like with the
Yeah.
2016 Democratic, the 2016 Democratic run. CNN kept posting this super delegate count on a committal level rather than people who actually voted. So what they're trying to make everyone think is that Hillary Clinton was beating Bernie Sanders by an overwhelming majority, when actually they were neck and neck at the time. And for Bernie to come in with not even a recognizable name and to do as well as he did, despite the mainstream media, is what I'm talking about. You have to almost cut off the television to make a good decision as far as who you want to support because the TV is going to shape who they want to put in front.
The good
And
news
the
is
last time it wasn't Jill Stein. They made Jill Stein look like a cuckoo bird. Like, who's the other guy? Gary something. I forgot. The other guy, the
Gary Johnson.
libertarian, Gary
Gary
Johnson. Yeah, they
Johnson.
made
Yeah.
they made him look crazy.
And
And
that's who I ended up voting for.
Bernie is an independent that he's running on the Democratic ticket because of this level of unfairness. How they play up the Democrats and the Republican and they shut out every other party.
Well, the good news is the mainstream media is losing when it comes to younger people. But we as the people that are involved in social media, we need to make sure young folks know that you can just simply get on your phone, find out who's running, and look up all kind of information about that candidate.
That's
You
how
are
I
not
became a
stuck
Bernie
to
guy.
what the TV.
That's
No,
how
I'm
I
just
became.
I want young people to hear as they listen to these programs. I want y'all to understand you could just get on your phone and look up all kind of stuff on candidates, and you don't have to worry about what the TV telling you to vote for. You could do it based on what you see they did.
So let me ask y'all a question. And I think we already pretty much answered it. Will Trump get another 4 years?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
No
Unfortunately, I think he
hesitation, I can
will.
say that.
Unless the only way I think he's gonna not get in there is this Bernie run. I think Bernie's the only person that can beat him.
I think Bernie is the only person that can beat him too. I
You
really,
know,
but I think that the Democrats are going to mess up again.
I I think that I hope that there's enough Republicans who supported him who can see that like he faltered on every single promise that he made. He lied on several occasions. I hope that like there's enough. Unfortunately, there's enough racists in America that's gonna help him get a second term.
Man,
Yeah, I mean, I feel that way too. But you also got to figure in all the people who voted for Barack Obama as well. Like because they and people will say this because of the majority of voters are white. White people put Obama in office.
Man, there's like that whole situation as far as like Obama goes. I think he did what he could in the position that he was in. Period. I think that it wasn't going to get any worse or any better than what could possibly happen in his position. He's just a person, a placeholder in history. Like it wasn't meant for him to be super successful in that position. It wasn't.
Hmm.
I think he was put there for a purpose. He served that purpose, and that was that.
Yeah, and a lot of people
I think they let him get in that position. You know what I mean?
I think that Barack Obama inherited a big mess coming off the heels of
definitely.
Bush.
And you know what? He inherited a big mess, and I think that, like I said before, I think that he served a purpose. He was supposed to be there. They let him get in that position for a reason, and then pass it on off to somebody else. Nobody else could have fit that position in history. Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Have y'all heard that? Y'all have heard that saying. Y'all have heard that saying. Say don't ever say I ain't never gave you nothing, right? Y'all heard that saying, right?
yeah, that, bro. That's exactly what I'm saying right now. Exactly.
Yeah, don't say I ain't never gave
And
you
we're gonna
nothing.
leave it at that. I wanted a black president. There you go. He ain't gonna be another one ever again, but there you go.
But not in the fact that is they put him in a fucked up position when he took over. Unfortunately,
Yes.
he made the best of a very bad situation. Like I said,
That's what I'm saying.
and
He
then
did the
they
best he
figured,
could, and he was supposed to be there.
right, so they could have someone to blame. I mean, and what's so bad is he took a sinking ship and made it so seaworthy, and then it's like, what did they do? I mean, when you consider that, literally, you had a presidential candidate come out before he was even. They said, no matter what he was going to do, we were going to be totally against it. He's like, well, look, we're going to give everybody everything free. You don't have to pay for shit. You're like, we still haven't want it. Where Trump can come in and say, well, we're going to charge everybody $1 million. And they're like, well, we want that way instead.
People, for some reason, people don't understand how politics work. They don't understand how laws work and how everything happens. It's supposed to come into existence. As far as like that goes, I don't know what people thought. They thought that Barack Obama was supposed to come in like, a black superhero and just start waving his hand like Harry Potter and change everything in an instant. Politics don't work that way. I understand that.
Never will.
Never have and never will. You got to understand that he's put in a position where things are not going to happen the way that we think as far as common ground. Okay, so I'll say this. There's two different levels. We have common sense. We understand that things don't just work the way that most people think it's going to work. Other people are like, he didn't do nothing for us. You got to understand, like, he wasn't going to be able to do anything for us in the first place anyway.
But see, here's the thing: how much did black people actually ask that man for instead of just sitting there and expecting it?
They expected it.
Yeah, that's why I say he gave him exactly what he promised.
I'm telling you, you know what? When he became president, I rolled through the gate playing Young Jeezy. My president is black, and somebody at the gate told me, "Hey man, you can't play that. I turned it up more." That's all I really expected. Like, oh shit, we finally got one. After that, I didn't really it didn't really dawn on me to really want anything else.
Yeah. I heard a young man tell me one time like how much that he was happy that Barack Obama got elected president. And the one thing that this kid did say, well, when I say kid, I'm not talking about he was 12 or 13. This guy was like 22, 23. He was like, well, when Barack Obama got elected, he didn't have to do nothing else but become president.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, honestly, anybody with common sense was thinking like myself. I'm like, you know what? I don't expect him to do anything extraordinary. I expect him to have lots of opposition. I expect him to be in a difficult position to where it's hard for him to do anything. So you made it, man. Congratulations. Everything else is gonna be business as usual. I didn't expect anything else crazy. There was nothing going to be groundbreaking or anything that's going to be life changing that was going to happen while he was in presidency. And once you understand that, you good. A lot of people like, oh, he failed us. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. You gotta understand, like, you ain't the only motherfucker in the damn country. He's the president. He's got to do something for everybody. So, he can't just stop and say, okay, I'm singling out black people. Look, you guys got the day off on Mondays from now on for the rest of the time I'm president. He can't do shit like that. People expecting stuff like that. That wasn't going to happen.
People expected him to fork over bags of cash to them, too.
Right. Okay, I'm getting reparations for everybody who's a descendant of a slave. That ain't happening. It wasn't going to happen.
You know what? Let me go ahead and talk about this, though. That's a lot of people were upset with Bernie because he said something about the reparations wasn't going to happen. What was that guy named Tana Shot with some dude Coates? Like, he writes for Black Panther. Yeah, he was like campaigning like how upset he was with Bernie that he said that about reparations. But the funny thing is, Barack Obama during his presidential campaign said the exact same thing about reparations.
Well, I didn't get upset about it because
basically Obama and Bernie said the same thing. That giving everybody a check, that you got to go through too much shit, that's probably not going to happen. But true reparations is, let's go ahead and rebuild these communities. Let's put businesses in their communities so we can create opportunity, rebuild the infrastructure, rebuild the schools.
And you know what? The thing about that is, the main thing about that is the people who can affect that direct change is us.
Yeah,
we live in those communities. We're here. We can do that. We don't even need a president to do that. We don't need a superhero or black leader to say, I'm going to do this and that in this specific community and this specific. No, since we're on the ground level and we actually live in these communities, we know what's wrong with it because we see it every single day. We have the power to change that. We have to touch the next person and do that instead of expecting somebody else to do it.
Well, before we go too far in that direction, reparations is about that money you owe us. We work for free. I need that check at the end of the day. I still need that check.
I mean, I'm not against taking
black folks. No, I know you're not, but I'm just saying. I know.
Yeah, I'll take a check.
I know. I know when it comes to reparations, because folks. Because I'm gonna talk a little bit about that on my show. But at the end of the day, a reparational issue is about run that money you owe us. We worked, we didn't get paid. Run that money until America does that.
Well, different.
Off the hook. Do I ever expect it to happen? No, I don't expect it.
Well, different groups have had that though.
No, yeah, I know, but
groups have gotten reparations.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing though. Since there's a set precedence of different ethnic groups getting true reparations, then we should get it too. We got to get it too.
Well, I agree with you, but I do know the difference between what should happen and what's more than likely going to happen.
We both know what's going to happen. It ain't happening, but what should happen, yes.
I'm gonna get into a little bit of that on the Roger Report because I think this is one way to approach it so it actually makes some sense. But yeah.
I'm gonna make sure I get on that and listen to that because yeah, I mean we know what's gonna happen and we know what should happen.
But my thing is, don't ever let white folk off the hook. That's my thing. I'm never gonna speak in the context. So I'm gonna let them off the hook for it. Nah, you still always
because that's like somebody beating your ass back in the day, and then like you want your fair when you come back and try to get yours. You're like, hey, I'm not the same person no more. I don't do that no more. I'm sorry, my bad. And then you just got to be set up and just be pissed off. Like, you know what? I want to whip your ass, but since you said I'm sorry, I guess I ain't going to do it. Nah, you still going to be pissed off.
I don't even look at it as that. I look at it as you drove my car and you damaged my vehicle. Yeah, you may have went away for a while. You may have changed your whole... At the end of the day, my vehicle still needs to be paid for.
Yo, Jane Elliott. I know you probably listen to a lot of stuff that she's done, right?
Yeah, I know who Jane Elliott is.
Yeah. Like, but see, okay. Hold up. Okay, I don't know what. Something just happened. Anyway,
he fell off.
Okay. Who fell off?
They got Roger did.
Shit, man, we were having a good conversation. Shit.
Yeah, he'll come back home.
But yeah, that whole thing, the whole like the mentality as far as like all that, as far as that goes, like you can't just erase that kind of shit, especially if you're still benefiting from the acts of someone back in the day that was on some racist ass shit. You can't just throw it away.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you
And
can't just act like it didn't happen because you're still benefiting from it. So unless you're willing to renounce that shit and be like, you know what, y'all right. I can't take the benefits from this. Like, there's no true reparations. There's no true acknowledgement of what happened. Like
My
the
thing is,
whole I wasn't alive back then. That's the cop out right there to me.
my thing is not this is not a personal issue. You owe money, run that money. It's nothing personal. Just
Right.
give me what you owe. And you know what I'm saying? I'm not really concerned with how you feel about it. I'm not concerned with how you think at this particular point. I don't care that you wasn't alive at the time. I need this check that I'm owed. And that's it. It's not a personal issue to me. Just run that money.
It don't never got to be a personal issue. It's just like a matter of fact. Just straight up facts.
My thing is people talk about it. See, when people try to run those BS excuses, they're trying to talk about it like it's a personal issue. Like,
they're not trying to do nothing to actually get it though. Like,
yeah, but the defense is a personal defense. I wasn't alive when that happened, bro. I ain't asked you to be alive. I
don't care if you wasn't alive, man. Sure, you better run that check though, fam.
I've never felt that way. I've never called you a nigger. Like, bro, I ain't asked you what you called me or none of that. I didn't ask you how you was raised. I ain't asked you about none of that. This is a non-personal issue, bro.
I appreciate you not being racist, but y'all got to run that check.
At the end of the day, bro, this is about my check. It ain't about your personal feelings. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to tell you a bad person or anything. Just run my check.
Here's a hypothetical question then on that same line. If let's say that we all as a people got reparations in the form of some kind of a check, we can throw any kind of ballpoint or ballpark figure out there as far as like the money goes. What do you think would realistically happen if that were to happen?
See, people like every time I hear that question, it always makes me refer back to that Dave Chappelle skit.
Oh God, I was thinking the same thing too.
Like it always refers.
All the Jordans are gone. Every bottle of liquor gone.
I'm gonna say this: at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what would happen. If you give me the check, you ain't got to worry about what happened. Just give me the check.
Well, I hate to say it,
but I ain't gotta worry about what happened because I'm black. So I want to, I would just like a hypothetical answer. Like, what do you think would a regrowth?
But I ain't gonna lie. If I was white people, I would just I would figure plain and simple because they know most of the people gonna spend their money frivolously and lose it anyway. I hate to say, I'd be like, all right, fine, we gonna cut y'all all a check for $35,000 and call it a day.
Let's say let's say as far as like the progressively minded people who are thinking, okay, I want to rebuild black community XYZ. On that terms, what do you think would happen?
I'm gonna say really, this was gonna happen because you know what I'm saying. Because this is the best answer I can give a person. When I was speaking to a multimillionaire, you know what I'm saying. I talked to his multimillionaire. We knew each other personally. You know, I know him. He knows me. He said when it comes to money, this was years ago. He said, if I gave you $1 million, that would make you a millionaire because you would be a millionaire mentally. He said, I can give you the $1 million, and yeah, you'll be a millionaire for that moment that I gave you the $1 million. But he said, for example, if you work a $30,000 a year job, you're going to make $30,000 a year decisions. So it makes no difference how much money I give you. You're going to make decisions based on the information and the way you see the world. And if you see the world from a $30,000 a year standpoint, you're going to make $30,000 a year decisions with $1 million. So at the end of the day, the money is not going to solve anything other than the fact white people can say we gave y'all money. You see what I'm saying? Now, yes, it'll be some of us that's going to do right and we'll be in much better shape. It's going to be a lot of us that's going to make poor decisions. But at that point, that it'll be on us, and white folks will be off the hook. So my thing is, whether they do bad or good, run the check. That's my issue. You know what I'm saying? Just run the check. And those of us that stink, we stink. Those of us that swim, we swim. But I still need the check. And you'll never explain that away from me. I still need the
Well,
check.
well, you do have these big talkers. Like if we got reparations, there has to be a plan for the money itself. Like, so I get where Shy is getting at. You know, for the progressively minded person, you would be thinking, let's put the money back into the community. Let's open up let's open up some community center for these kids. You know, let's start some businesses. You know, where we can perpetually make money and hire the blacks. So I'm thinking I'm thinking that's the direction that he was trying to
No,
talk in.
I do understand his question. I know he's seeing it as that way, but I think at the end of the day, man, let the people who want to make the money off of it make the money. Let those who don't spend privilege spend privilege.
But
At the
see,
end of the day, what's that?
also you have to get past the mentality, the you know the spending mentality. They basically, you know, trying to, you know, just like, I guess, care about how you look and how you present yourself, you know, going out buying all kinds of bling. But I mean, but ultimately at the end of the day, and I hate to put it like this, it's probably going to be each individual person's business what they do with the money.
No, it would be, and that's a good thing. That's what I'm saying. It's a good thing because at the end of the day, those of us who want to be more successful, we're just going to become more successful a lot quicker. Those of us who didn't care, they're gonna be broke, just like a lottery winner. They say that most people who win the lottery is back on the same job within 2 years. It's gonna be the
Real
same thing.
quick, real quick.
Yeah, it's gonna be the same thing. Those of us who say, you know what, let me prepare before I get this check, they're gonna prepare. They're gonna make a plan. They're gonna do something good, and they're gonna be all right. There's gonna be a lot of folks who just won't prepare, even though they know the money coming. And when they get their check, it's gonna be gone quick. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? As an individual, I can't worry about how everybody else gonna spend their money. I'm not into that. Let's build a community. No, go out there, take your money, build your business, and make it happen for yourself and your family. So, stop worrying about the community. The whole community just got to check. You know what I'm saying? Build a business.
So do you think a true black collective exists, or do you think it's just a myth?
No, no,
Um,
the black collective exists, and the black collective does what it wants to do.
Well,
But at
I'll
the
say
end,
this. My bad. Let me clarify. Do you think a black cohesive collective exists?
nope.
Okay.
no, the thing is, you don't need a cohesive collective because people get so into this. We got to all do it together. No, the people who want to be successful are going to become successful, and the ones that don't really care about it, they won't be. But that's the way it is when you have a free market system. And
Do you
if we
think that
live in a
harms
capitalist
us as a
world,
whole or helps us?
no, no, it helps you if you care enough to take advantage. At the end of
No, I
the
mean,
day,
does it help us?
no, no, I'm saying as a people, when you live in a capitalist society, those who want help the most get it at the end of the
Right.
day. The only problem you have in America is number one, we've been cheated, and plus the market that's supposed to be free are not truly free market. That's what
So
hurts us even more.
what do you think it would take for us as a people, bottom line, to be treated? Because I think a lot of us are caught up in trying to reach this level of what we think is supposed to be success based on someone else and not based on ourselves. You know what I mean? So, do you think we have to be separatists and be like, fuck it, I'm not trying to look for your specific, I guess, title or level. I'm gonna make my own and go this way. Like, it's just so
That is
like
the
the
most
Oscars,
progressive.
Grammys, and all this other shit. You know, like stuff like that. It's like, okay, they a lot of people they gauge their success off of whether or not they reach a certain point based on this ethnicity's level and not our own.
What I mean, you have to let thoughts like that go because at the end of the day, I don't. You know what I'm saying? If I when you measure your society against another society, then it makes sense to look at that. So if you're not measuring yourself against them, then what's the point? At the end of the
Yeah,
day, I'm trying to be as
and
much as
that's
I
my
can.
question. What do you think it would take for us to stop, like, stop looking at everybody else and start gauging ourselves as what we could truly be. Because I
Only
think that like this thinking about that is like hindering us. Like, okay, if I can't make it in this society, then I'm not making it in my own, or I'm not anything in my own society unless I make it in this society. Like that shit right there just is killing us, in my opinion.
I don't think we'll ever be pushed to that point again because I think white folks are smart enough to never segregate us through law again. Segregation through law hurt them, and I think they realize it. So therefore, they'll never do it again.
So,
segregation for us to do
so
that.
explain that. Explain that for the viewers. How segregation hurt them.
Okay, because when if you pay attention to why slavery ended. Slavery only ended because of a financial issue was going on between the North and the South.
Thank you.
When goods were being sold to other countries, people kept going to the South to buy these goods because the North was charging higher prices because they did not have slave labor. So the war started because the North asked the South basically like to make it short, sweet, and easy to understand. Basically the North told the South, why don't y'all raise y'all prices because y'all charging less than us because y'all got slave labor. The South said, fuck y'all, that's y'all problem. You know what I'm saying? That ain't our problem. So we're gonna keep our prices where they at. So in order for the North to compete with the South on price points, they had to have a war. The North just happened to win that war. Nobody wanted slavery to end. The only issue was the only way the North could hurt the South from an economical standpoint, they had to have the slaves to be free. If they could solve their problem without freeing the slaves would have never been free. So at the end of the day, what helped us was the fact that we got free and was able to own property, and the slaves understood the importance of ownership. And a lot of black folks have lost that mindset and thinking about the importance of ownership. And until we understand the importance of ownership from a large level again, then we're not gonna be competing with other groups of people. So at the end of the day, if white folks separate us again, that will put us into that mindset a lot quicker. Therefore, they're never going to make it a law.
But you got some new Stockholm folks though.
No, Stockholm works better in the system they have now because right now they're free to spend their money at white people's businesses. If they couldn't spend their money at white people's business, they would have to shop at black businesses, which means what? The black people would be better prepared to compete with white folks. So it would be dumb of white people to separate us from a financial standpoint because it does not help them.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, I'm probably about to bring this to a. Oh man! Every time I wear this earpiece, I hit it for some reason, and my arm is like over there, so I don't understand. But yeah, I'm probably about to end this broadcast. I felt like it was a really good discussion. I appreciate everybody for dropping by. So I'm just gonna let everybody have final words. Okay. I think Donnie left. I mean, he probably was a little tired anyway. He's probably still like suffering from jet lag. But I would like to go ahead and thank him for stopping by. As always. All right. Any final words, Roger, Mr. Stevens?
My final words would be, black folks, y'all need to pay more attention to what's going on politically, understand why things are happening, and start making the best choices for yourself, your family, and your country. Period. And one of the best things you could do in life to help you from a general level, at least in my opinion, is subscribe to the Roger Report.
Oh, that was a masterful plug.
All those out there, subscribe to the Roger Report. This is Roger Stevens, one of the habitual line steppers. always giving out good content, real content, and I ain't afraid to say what other folks are afraid to say. So join us at any point.
I got nothing. I can't follow that. I just enjoy the conversation. I enjoy listening to different points of view. So that's all it is. If you're listening right now, make sure you go to Darth Skater 7. It's just a gaming channel. It's not going to get anywhere near how deep this channel is and how the Roger Report is. But other than that, just if you want to, get in some nerdy shit, follow Darth Skater 7. Other than that, make sure you support these guys. You ain't shit for watching. Black Men Being Brutally Honest, and also the Roger Report.
And thank you for that, Eric, very much. And I gotta say, I'm a subscriber to Darth Skater 7. So the guy doing some cool shit over there. So please subscribe. Judge, any final thoughts?
Well, only thing I can say on that is black people, we need to pay attention to what's going on in the world. Also, consider the source. Anytime you're told any information, consider the source. Always. And there's always an ulterior motive. When somebody tells you one thing, always think about what they're not telling you. All righty.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, whatever the political landscape is, what I would say is, I mean, especially as a person who was born and raised in Alabama and all our deep history, in all of this, go exercise your right to vote. There are too many people that made that sacrifice for you to do it, and also if anything, the political presidential landscape had taught me from 2008 to present day is to do my research. And I would encourage everyone to do the same. Do your research before you get totally invested in one side of the narrative. I would say that go with the candidates that serve your interest, that serve your best interest. And that's probably about it. I would say, just for anyone out there, just do your research, and whatever happens, just remember, we always have the option as a people to be proactive and make things better for ourselves. And hopefully people can understand and realize that real soon. Like, not so much to depend on one guy to help you out with it. But it's gonna take, in order for things to really improve, it's gonna take all of us, not just some politics, not just this, not just that. It's gonna take all of us. So that's pretty much it for the conversation. Okay, my name is Kev. This is Black Men Being Brutally Honest YouTube channel. Once again, I would like to thank my panelists for joining the Roger Report. Darth Skater 7. You ain't shit for watching. He had to leave the broadcast early, but he's always here in spirit. We had a visit from Chaos Reign on another broadcast, so I do appreciate him for stopping by and supporting. Thanks to Judge Dre. Dre, can you name your YouTube channel again for the listeners?
It was Debating Woes, but I haven't posted a video in a minute. But I do admit I said I was going to post one this week.
Okay, Debating Woes. Okay, so just look for that, people. I'm sure Judge Dre got a lot of good stuff for everyone. And that is it. Thank you for once again tuning in, and y'all take care. Black Men Being Brutally Honest, the habitual line steppers, and we're out.